Right, I can't. Apparently, we're still offline.
Yeah, it'll take a second.
Oh, here we go. I can see start.
Right, can you hear us as well? If
Um,
you just for a moment turn on the stream audio so that you can just check.
yeah, I can.
Good. So, D&D, huh?
We haven't got anyone watching, but that's fine. So I'll just do the intro for a video.
For VOD Squad. VOD Squad are my favourite viewers.
VOD Squad best.
They're always there from the beginning.
No one watches it.
Shut up.
VOD Squad is us, James.
Intro.
Well, I need to do it when it changes to seeing us, don't I?
Should I swap it then? Should I swap the
Yeah.
scene? I hope this works.
I haven't got
We're here.
anything planned.
Good.
There we go. Welcome, people and non-people, animals of all kinds that God created equally. We are we are Fluff and Fumble. We don't represent the Bible or any other holy books. Welcome to whatever we're doing. Episode 2 of The Outer Black. And before I ruin any more religions, I'm going to pass you over to our DM, Alex.
Thank you, Ned. Thank you for an intro, I suppose.
It was an intro.
Welcome to The Outer Black, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons incredibly homebrewed campaign, run by myself and played by these two here. Say hi, these two here.
Hi.
Hi, these two here.
Fantastic. James, who are you playing?
I'm playing Jupiter. Jupiter is a Uzganassi sorcerer. And he's got
Yes, who are you
cool
playing?
things.
I'm playing Lyfþrasir, and as we discovered last time, Lyfþrasir is a changeling, warlock of we don't know yet.
Warlock of we don't know. Very interesting. So, where did we leave off last time? Do you want me to do the recap?
Up to you. I'm happy to, or you can take over.
I'll do it. I'll do a nice cinematic recap, as
Okay.
if we were doing a lot last time on Fluff and Fumble.
Yeah. Last time on Outer
Jupiter.
Black.
Jupiter was illegally watching a mech fighting ring when suddenly from the ceiling fell a disgusting, almost insect-like mechanical flesh being on fire alongside a small drow human, turning out to be Lyfþrasir. Both of them fought the giant creature, ran away from the scene, caught up with old Granny Brooks, Jupiter's grandmother, finding out that Jupiter's family home had been completely burnt to the ground and that Jupiter's family had left for Caleb's Rest, the capital city of Layman's Belt, the place that everyone's currently in. Whereupon they left to go find someone who could smuggle them out of the city to get rid of the illegal restrictions.
What are you...
I'm having an interpretive dance. It's good. Finding Marceline the Missile Queen in a very backwater tavern on the edge, well, not hugely edge, but mostly on the edge of the city. The two plan to smuggle their way out there, but first turn to have a quick meal at a restaurant before they go to bed. I don't know if the interpretive dance was entirely necessary, but I did appreciate it, to be fair.
I thought it really spelled out the story in more detail.
It kind of didn't.
Thank you.
Did you like the sign for Smoke Ganassi? Because you didn't actually say she was a Smoke Ganassi, but I made it clear. I made it clear she was.
You
a
made it
Smoke
very
Ganassi.
clear. I don't think you made it all that clear. I'm going to be honest.
There you go. Right, should we dive in?
Quickly, just a pause to say, we've got cool overlay things.
We do have a cool overlay. Look at us. We're pretty
Look at
again.
us.
Thanks mainly to James
You're welcome.
for setting that up.
Yay, editor!
I
Permanent
didn't make it. I pulled
Permanent
it.
editor.
No, but you got it working.
Yeah, just clarifying for the viewers.
Fantastic. There is a storm outside, so there's no better time to play D&D. So, I actually would like to ask you two a question, because I don't think we've mentioned this on stream yet, but what are you two wearing at the moment?
I mentioned this in passing, but I can go into more detail if you'd like.
Go ahead.
I'll go first then. So Lyfþrasir's normal outfit mainly involves their armor, but obviously they've got their armor off because it's at the shop having a new gem fitted. So Lyfþrasir wears these kind of body wraps. Imagine like a Halloween mummy, but not gross and decrepit. So like these full body bandages all over. And then over that is just this huge like traveling coat that's been made out of multiple garments, all kind of sewn together. and like every couple of inches the fabric changes. Mainly like reds and blacks though, stuff they've repurposed from old drow clothes. But yeah, it's got a hood as well. But at the minute, I imagine the hood's down because it's just traveling around. So at the minute, it's that. But normally, the armor goes under the coat and over the body wraps.
And Jupiter.
Probably just fairly plain, common clothes, trying to kind of blend in with everyone else. Jupiter really tries not to stand out too much.
That's a point. Lyfþrasir is definitely trying to stand out with this coat.
You two are an interesting bunch, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, right now, last time we ended in the beautiful Fey restaurant. So it's a chain, almost like a fantasy yo sushi, run by tiny, tiny little fairies.
It's a chain, you say?
It's a chain restaurant, yes.
Good. Just checking, we will be able to go to this place in the future.
Unfortunately, I had to make it a chain restaurant due to request from no people in particular. So, what are you guys doing? I imagine you pretty much finished your meal. You've had a lot to talk about.
I'm quickly looking around for a menu, seeing if I can work out how much this would cost. Because I don't know how much fairy food costs.
I imagine at the sight of pretty much empty or completely empty plates, depending on how much potato Lyfþrasir can actually eat.
It's quite a lot, actually. Can I roll Constitution?
Yeah, go on. Let's see if you die by potato.
What's my Constitution modifier? I've lost it. +3, not bad.
+3 on a warlock.
15.
I think
Total
you
of
probably
15.
I think there's still streaks of gravy. There's like
Okay.
there's half of a hash brown.
Oh,
some of
but
the
I like
mash
it.
that's like it's been out for a little while, so it's kind of crusted onto the plate now because you've gone through so much potato.
Gross.
But you've gotten through the food. Obviously, Jupiter, the pizza's just gone. The pizza was probably gone sort of 10 minutes into the meal, to be honest. And after a couple of these fairies see that you guys have finished your food, the little train comes along the side again and stops. And there's a tiny little fairy going, "Are you done?" Because fairies speak weird.
Yes.
Would you like
It was
dessert?
an experience. I don't know that what are the dessert options? What you got?
There are brownies.
There are brownies. Lyfþrasir definitely can't eat
Isn't
a
a
brownie.
brownie a type of fairy?
Also,
That's disgusting.
That's the joke.
I hope they're brownies.
They are. This has been written in my notes.
Cannibalism.
I have to have things like this.
Well, not really cannibalism because they're not eating them, but you know.
Okay. Can we get 2 to go?
Yeah.
We'll do them.
Imagine he pulls the train up a little bit further, and this time you've not seen this bit before. But there's a train at the end, and it's a caboose, but at the same time it's in the shape of a piggy bank with the little slot on the top, and he just says out seven electrum pieces, please.
Is that together or each?
Together.
How do we split 7? Or the one who didn't pay for expensive armor could pay for it.
Or the one who ate more
This is
could pay
something
for
Lyfþrasir
it.
is actually saying.
The one who
Yeah,
ate more could pay
yeah.
for it.
I'll pay 4. I slide 4 election pieces without actually saying I pay 4.
Where's my money?
And then I just kind of turn to Jupiter.
I guess I'll pay 3.
He just goes, "Could you slot him into the back?"
I've put mine in.
I think his accent has changed about 8 different times so far.
No, that's canon for fairies now.
Fairies just don't settle down anywhere really. They travel everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
So he whizzes on by after the payment and leaves you guys to just get out, go out. It's probably about like 9 p.m.
Okay.
Funnily enough, despite being on a weird asteroid belt in a completely different section of space, it's still a 24-hour clock, so otherwise days is hard to calculate. It's about 9 p.m. You've still got the address of...
Did we get the address? Yeah. I was going to ask, do I need the cooler?
It's quite nearby. It's in an apartment block. I don't know, Lyfþrasir, you might not know this, but Jupiter, you would know. This apartment block is it's not like fancy, but it's kind of swanky. Like for someone who doesn't necessarily live in one of the workshops, it is quite a nice place to stay. Lyf, what do you want to do?
I'm keen to head to the apartment.
Yeah.
I need my rest.
Sound like a 5-minute walk or so.
Okay. I was going to ask, if we're doing a 5-minute walk, can you give us some more idea of the kind of terrain? Like, are there any plants? What's the ground made of? Like that kind of stuff.
So the ground of the actual, I guess, kind of island, essentially, the Rivet City's on, is just hard rock, shattered. It used to be dusty, but now there's obviously a massive city on top of it. A lot of it's been concreted over. A lot of the pavements, the sidewalks, are made of kind of a copper blend. To actually,
Okay.
because obviously it gets a lot more traffic on the footpaths because the vehicles, which there are a couple of, don't touch the ground. So
Right.
couples makes more sense. There's hover bikes, essentially. They've got funkier names because there are 8 different people that produce them and they're always in rivalry, so you've always got something different.
Cool.
But other than that, there's no plants, like really anywhere,
Right.
other than maybe the occasional tree surrounded by a bench, like the kind of New York, we had to put a tree here so there was oxygen around style of tree. Like,
Yeah.
it's not pretty, it's not luscious. It's like the place looks gorgeous, but it's not looking natural anyway.
Okay, that's useful to know. Thank you.
So if you're wondering why, the other thing to note is there's alleyways everywhere. It's a lot more like in like a British town, in that it's never been blocked out, it's never been planned or anything. They just stuck buildings next to or on top of buildings, but when and if they were needed. So alleyways exist everywhere. There's like a couple of main roads, and the rest are like kind of dark, kind of dim, not necessarily dangerous, but just hard to navigate roads. I imagine you'd probably be following Jupiter for most of this, as obviously Jupiter knows a
Definitely.
lot more about the city.
I think occasionally Lyf pushes forwards to try and take the lead, and then realizes they have no clue where they're going, and just kind of backs behind.
As you get closer to Marceline's apartment, sort of maybe 2 minutes away, Jupiter would have taken you down a couple of the side alleys, just because there's definitely faster routes, and Jupiter knows literally the fastest route to anywhere. And as you're going down a side alley, you see another one that's made a T-junction. You see, well, you don't even see it at first. You hear kind of a whimpering, and amongst the whimpering, you can just hear the words, no, I don't want it. No, we can't. And then it sort of, you hear a quiet, very briefly, and then a small shriek, and then more whimpering, as if someone's being attacked.
I think Lyf runs to wherever the sound's coming.
Jupiter?
I guess I'm going to follow. No point splitting up.
I haven't seen any guards around, have I?
No. There
Okay,
aren't
then I
huge
am
amount of
gonna-
guards that sort of roam around Rivet City, really.
Okay, then I am going to run.
It wouldn't be much really of a run. It'd probably just be like a quick increase, because you're only about maybe 2 meters away. As you look down this
Okay.
junction, you see hunched over, or pretty much prostrate, a cloaked figure. On the back of the cloak, a large red 6-fingered hand.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
not a good sign.
You would Lyf, you would definitely recognize as the cult of the 6th finger. Jupiter, you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't know straight away, but quite quickly you would realize this is something you've heard of.
Yeah.
And you can see he's still bent over, almost clenching his stomach, maybe, or something. Completely bent over and still just whimpering. He hasn't noticed.
It's just the one guy, but he was talking to someone or something. Ooh, I don't know. Is there anything I want to do to be careful before I head in, or I think I'm just going to head in. Okay. I think Jupiter sees this. Some of the tattoos, the marks on my skin that you've seen before, that moved when I was using my powers before, kind of start to move as if I'm getting ready. I'm just kind of tensing myself up, and then I head over and put one hand on this guy's back and kind of like gently pull, like trying to get him to stand up straight, trying to support him to stand.
As you put your hand on his back, hang on, I'm gonna have to shut my window because the storm is loud enough we picked up on a mic, which is terrifying. As you put your hand sort of on his upper back, you feel it feels warm, incredibly warm, kind of almost maybe the same sort of warmth you can occasionally feel from your blade, but not in the same way. Your blade feels cold, and yet as though it's got an energy inside of it. This feels like it's like this person maybe is leaking energy, or has just been burnt, but it's showing no signs of it or anything. And as he feels your touch, he almost throws himself forward, just prone onto the floor. And he whimpers again for a moment, and then you both would hear, and this would echo around the alleyway. What languages do you two speak?
I speak Common and Primordial, I think. Yep.
I speak Common and Elvish in terms of common languages. If you need to know more, I can tell you more.
I believe I know the other two that you speak. In which case, I think both of you would be able to pick out words that are similar in Infernal and in Primordial.
Okay.
But mainly, it's just the sounds of like around the entire alleyway. The words you maybe would pick out would be common things, so currency of some kind.
Right.
Obviously, that's more of an abstraction. And need. So either a need, a want, or a lust. And then you hear him reply with, "No, we can't. We're not strong enough." And again, you see him just yelp out in pain and just curl up like a ball on the floor. You've not seen what's made this other noise.
I turn to Jupiter. This isn't normal, right?
Can I hand signal that we should go? This is not... Sometimes you try and, help people out, help those less fortunate. I think we need to go.
Let me try just one thing. It looks... You heard that, right? You heard the voice.
Yes. That's why I think we need to go.
There's something inside him, right, acting weird. Just give me one chance. I'm going to try and replace it.
Unless we want it inside of us.
I'm going to try and replace it. And with that hand I had on his back, you see that like flash of red down my arm, and I cast Lesser Charm. So a wisdom saving throw from him or whatever's controlling him, please.
Oh.
That's fun.
I'm going to try and push it out. I'm going to try and replace it in his mind.
You're going to crush his mind and kill him.
I attempt to charm a humanoid within range. Wisdom saving throw. If it fails, they are charmed and they regard me as a friendly acquaintance or distant kin and are willing to do a minor favour.
Okay, I'm going to do this.
A secret roll.
Apparently I've been given a player, I need a different player.
Did anyone tweet out that we were going live, or did we just not?
Don't think we did.
Oh well. Bit late now.
It's okay. This one's for the diehard fans.
He turns up and looks towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And locks eyes and goes, "Go." You can see it looks like probably a fire ganassi, but whereas the fire ganassi you would have seen have often very vibrant reds and oranges in their hair and in their face, it's almost ashen. They're still red, but it's dim. It doesn't look like the normal fire that's within these kinds of people. It doesn't look happy. Bloodshot eyes, massive bags. And he reaches up, grabs your hand and goes, "Just leave."
Okay.
You see, he's on our side. I think we should,
I wanna have some way to get back to him or contact him, but I don't think we have that at our disposal yet. I'll listen to Jupiter. Let's go.
I think if you're going to
It's
want to
against-
contact this guy in the future, you're going to need commune with dead.
It's not. Lyf wants to try more, but they're going to listen to Jupiter.
Are you just turning your back, or are you backing away?
I was going to turn my back
No.
and just bolt.
Okay. What's Lyf doing?
My hand was still in his back for as long as possible until he took it off, and so I feel bad about leaving him. I want to help him because I think I know what it's like to have like other things in your mind / taking over your body. So I feel bad for this guy. So I think I'm stepping away and trying to hold onto his hand for as long as possible before turning my back and running. So I turn my back, but after Jupiter.
Jupiter, because you were further back anyway, weren't you, Jupiter?
Yeah.
You probably get out of the alley onto the main road a little bit before Lyf. Lyf, you probably only just about catch this, because it would be as you turn away. But as you know, as like you're just moving your head, you're stopping eye contact. You see something flow over him. Now, the important question is how either of you two watched the Venom movie.
I've seen bits.
I haven't watched it, but I've seen enough of it. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the sort of transformation?
Yeah.
It's that, but with a kind of purpley red liquid almost stretching over him. It doesn't get bigger. It's almost as if he shrinks into the shadows, and you literally watch as whatever's just taken over this thing runs off on spread all fours. Almost as if a spider was trying to control a human, like arms and legs out, but speeding away. Maybe a 50-foot walking speed starts, but like insanely fast, straight into the shadows.
How good of a look did I get? Did I see it?
Roll perception for me.
Or did I just see the movement? Okay. Perception. Oh dear, my perception's not great.
I think you saw the transformation
Mm-hmm.
partially. I think you saw the robes there. I think then you just saw almost consumed, but still part of these robes as it joined over, like almost over the shoulder, and then you watched it go out of the corner of your eye as you turned around and bolted as well.
Okay. Just a thing to mention. I think as Lyf is walking behind Jupiter, letting Jupiter lead the way, they would take that little notebook I talked about before and try and sketch what they saw. I don't know how convincing of a drawing it's going to be, but they're going to try and get a vague picture of like the halfway through transformation. I think you said I saw that.
Yeah.
They're going to try and get that bit in like a rough charcoal drawing.
Do you think you'd be doing this while you're walking?
Yeah, while I'm walking.
Yeah. It would.
I want it fresh in my mind.
It would work, but I don't know. I don't think it would have, the detail you're probably after.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I wanted. I just want the note of it.
Jupiter, are you running just to the main road, or have you basically run to Marceline's apartment?
Yeah, to the apartment.
Straight to the apartment.
I don't think I'm going to stop until I'm through the door.
So you bolt. You pretty
Clearly something is horribly, horribly wrong here.
You see that the door's push, and I imagine Jupiter would just run at the door, throw it open. And would you wait for Lyf with the door open, or would you just go straight in?
Yeah.
Alright. So Lyf would catch up only a few seconds behind, and you guys would go up and find the apartment. The apartment's actually unlocked. There's a note on the door. Just says, "Come on in."
Oh, yeah.
Marceline
I was wondering if she was
in.
out. Oh, she is out. Okay.
Yeah, she's out for now. The apartment it's nice. It's kind of a studio apartment, really. It's got a big double bed near the back. It's got a nice little kitchenette. It's got one of those corner sofas with two of the bits folded out, so like pillows and blankets. So bed for you guys essentially. It's comfortable and it's warm, and like it's safe, pretty much. It feels safe.
That's good.
There's a lock on the door as well. It's surprisingly nice. Jupiter, you'd probably notice this first, but this isn't what you would think a normal, criminal would be able to afford. This is quite a pretty place.
first thing to check, Lyf is going to lock the door if they're in.
Yeah.
Just
I
to
thought
check.
so. You snap the door lock. It's not a bolt door. It's not a bolt lock, sorry.
Mhm.
It's actually magically locked. So you hear a quick snap as a small spell goes off and will seal the door. It's a lot
Cool.
harder to get into these apartments than it is a lot of other places.
So yeah, she's getting paid off from someone. Okay. Is there any like snacks? We've got brownies, but is there any snacks like
Yeah,
out in the apartment?
There's probably stuff like in the cupboards and in the fridge to like
Okay.
make some, I don't know, some bread and cheese or something. The difficulty with Rivet City and most of Layman's Belt is it's quite hard to get like smaller foods. People bulk buy foods with that are magically preserved because it's really hard to grow any kind of vegetables or anything. Animals you can kind of keep, but only for a small amount of time. So actually, a lot of the food comes from the planet below.
Okay. Right.
You guys have definitely eaten enough today, don't worry.
Well, I'm just like checking if there's anything I want to put in my pockets for later. Right. What do we? Is there anything we need to do before Marceline gets back? Is it rude to have like? I'm gonna say this to Jupiter as no. Is it worth just like checking around? Like this seems like a pretty nice place, and we're about to put our lives possibly in this person's hands. Like as nice as they seemed.
What do you mean?
And I think I'm gonna wander over to like a bedside drawer if there is one, and just like have a look.
Hey, I don't know how the Drow do things on the planet, but that's an invasion of privacy. That's weird.
She's out. I just want to like check. I know.
Yeah, she is out.
Who's steering the ship?
So are you opening like the drawer that's by the bedside?
Yeah.
You open it up. It's like an old, what you would recognize as an alarm stone.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to actually be working anymore. It seems the magic's faded out. There's a couple of like half-used Athenian power cells, like the tiny little ones.
Okay.
There's like probably some tissues in there. There's just it's like a normal person's bedside cabinet.
Oh, okay. Well, now Lyf feels
Like a gun
guilty
in the
because
side
she
or
feels
anything.
right. I was just checking she
What are
didn't
you
have like
doing?
some pay slips from the big bad.
Who even is the big bad, Ness? Go on.
I don't know. I was just gonna check she didn't have anything
I know that
incriminating.
she's a criminal, but she's not a bad person.
No, I know. I was just checking.
To be fair, one of the things you would find is a couple of like decently large missiles. Not fully constructed. Jupiter, you don't recognize these. You recognize the design style, but these look like maybe design 3. So maybe for some sort of new mech or new weapon that she's designing.
Okay.
These look like, to you, these look like they would pack a pretty decent punch, but they're not finished yet. What do you guys want to do?
I want to get a plate out of her kitchen area and put my brownie on the plate for her when she gets back.
Oh, do you want to leave a little note? There is like, a notepad and stuff. Notepads and pens around.
Yeah.
Leave a tiny...
Just in case because Lyf might head to bed early to do some spelly things. Spelly things. Lyf needs some time to contemplate what happened today and think about what's going to happen tomorrow.
Jupiter, have you got a plan? Is there anything you really want to do?
I need time to contemplate all of this. You put me on edge. With all
What's
this
the point?
privacy stuff. And also the weird spider creature and everything. I feel like Jupiter's got to wonder, if you don't trust Marceline, the Missile Queen, or whatever she was called, the Rocket Queen.
Missile Queen.
Missile Queen, was it? Okay. And you only met me half a day before. I got to wonder, would you go through my stuff if my house hadn't burned down? Would you have gone through my personal belongings had I taken you back to my house? I have to wonder.
There's a difference. Look,
There's trust issues here.
you pretty much saved my life. The thing with her is we just met her in a bar that you dragged me to, and it wasn't particularly in the nicest place. I just wanted to check, but I trust her now. Just wanted to check. To clarify, on
The
the
question
note
isn't
I
whether
left,
you trust me, it's whether I trust you. Kind of person who goes through people's things and...
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Inter-party conflict.
Yeah. I don't think Lyf really has an answer for that. Anyway, on the note I left on the brownie, at the end, instead of Marceline, I've written Marcy with a heart over the I, because I spelt it with an I at the end. Just to clarify, just for plot reasons.
And this
I
makes it
think-
even weirder then that you don't trust her, because you're like romancing her, but you don't even trust her to not be selling you out to some evil power.
It's useful. It's useful. We'll leave it there. Look, we both need some rest. You look like you need some rest.
I feel like I need some rest.
Do you want to go to bed?
I'm just gonna go.
Lyf is trying to think if there's anything nice they can do for Jupiter, because they do feel guilty about looking through Marcy's stuff.
Cast lesser charm on them.
No, that's not a nice thing.
Still better for me.
I've got equipment to fix your clothes if your clothes get ripped. Just letting you know. Lyf says that, by the way. That's Lyf's words.
Jupiter, I imagine, is already like under the blanket, like half asleep. This is a surprisingly nice sofa bed.
Lyf takes their coat off and like hooks it over the back of a chair, like really carefully, like making sure the sleeves are all out properly and like no creases, and then heads to bed, I think.
You guys tuck in, and you probably both fall asleep for a little bit, and then you'd wake up. Don't worry, this isn't gonna like interrupt the long rest or anything. You guys can take a long rest.
I was about to say, should we press the button?
Go for it. Probably about like maybe you guess 2 hours. It's very much early morning when you wake up, but you're woken up to the door opening fairly loudly. You can tell Marceline's used to clearly living on her own, because it's not quite a slam, but it's just loud, and then it's banging the door in. And she's carrying like a small box. Do either of you like bolt up or anything, or do you just sort of, like stay tucked in?
No, I'm
tired. I need my rest.
I'm not gonna bolt up, but I'm definitely not trying to get back to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't move, but I don't like put any effort into getting back to sleep. Just to let DM know I have swapped out one of my spells on the long rest.
Good. You can also do that, by the way, James, if you have any spells you'd like to swap out.
Alright.
We are playing I believe the Unearthed Arcana something, optional variant?
Flexible. Oh, yeah. Flexible spellcasters.
That's it. Where you can swap out certain spells at certain rests, because it's a party of casters, so let's have fun with all the homebrew spells that I've added. And watch my game balance. No, you probably both
It's
seen,
only the one.
it takes like 30 seconds or so to catch the brownie. You guys didn't notice this until you weren't paying attention to the brownie, but the brownie started just flying. It's a square brownie.
Oh,
But it just
okay.
They're brownies.
Yeah, that's very good.
I have actual notes on this. I really am proud.
Just you wait till we use them to solve an encounter.
Yeah, we've still got one more.
It takes her 30 seconds or so. She grabs it, takes a bite, looks at the note, and you see her just smile a little bit. And then you see her opening up the box, taking out like the small electrum. It definitely looks like a pistol. Lyf might not know that straight away. Jupiter, if you're looking, you would definitely see this looks like some kind of pistol. And you see her pick up a small cell from the box and load it in, snap it back, having a quick look. Can you both roll performance for me if you guys aren't? Are you guys trying to look like
Performance or stealth?
Either, actually. Either.
I'm not proficient in either, actually. No, I am. I'm proficient in stealth.
I'm not proficient in either.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
She clearly can't tell that Lyf's asleep, but she sort of notices you flutter, and you see it. She grabs the grip of this gun and just spins it towards you, lands in your lap, Jupiter. She goes, right, there's your gun. Like you wanted.
Thanks.
The stun gun.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna shoot you in your sleep.
I
I'm not.
I just woke up. I'm just a little foggy, you know. Just
Well,
give me a moment.
there's stuff to do.
On
It's dark.
hearing the word stun gun, Nif starts pretending to be asleep.
Is this like a you gently wake up and just bolt up?
I think I bought up at this point. Yeah.
She says this like, oh, so neither of you were asleep. Okay.
Maybe if you'd
No, I
if you
wasn't.
closed the door a little quieter.
I was asleep. I only just woke up now.
Okay. So I got a gun each for you. She tosses you one as well there. And I've got
Nice.
3 cells each. So obviously, it's hard to get these things. They're kind of illegal, but I got them.
Isn't everything you do illegal?
Not all of it, but like most of it, yeah. Look, do you want the stun gun or not?
Yes.
Exactly. So here's a stun gun. 1 shot in 1 clip, so you have to reload after every shot, and it doesn't really harm them. Just kind of, nap times them a little bit. They'll just sort of fall asleep in twitching sleep. It ain't that bad.
How just for recreational use? How long does it last?
The stun? About, I think, half an hour? I don't know.
That's
I bought these
not
off a
very
guy.
long.
I bought this off a guy, never tried it before, so it's a bit experimental. So have fun.
That's quite a long time.
Should we try it out?
Half an hour is a
try
long
it out?
time. No, we're not trying it out. We only have so many shots.
Yeah, but if it doesn't work for half an hour, and we think it works for half an hour...
It's only going to need to work for like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Then we should be
giving you both
well
your
clear.
stun guns. If you check your inventory,
thank
you
you.
can see stun guns and stun clips.
Yes.
Now I just need to adjust. So I need you guys to do me a quick favor, because of the way that weapons work in Foundry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I need you guys to, do you know how to edit weapons? You do.
Hopefully.
Yep.
So you click on the little edit button,
Yeah.
and you go to details, and where it's in this little second block where it says resource consumption, next to ammunition,
Yep.
just select stun clip.
Cool.
Okie doke.
It just means that it will pull up the saving throw that's necessary and everything, because there is a saving throw involved in this.
Yep.
It doesn't just completely KO. The other thing is that it has a reload of 1. So after 1 bullet, you have to spend an action to reload. So
Okay.
combat's not great. It also doesn't do damage, but there is a type of stun clip you guys can get at some point that can do damage.
Cool.
I'm kind of assuming that you guys might want to keep these stun guns, so there's some extra prep in the background.
Yeah. I think using my Weaver's tools, which I'm going to get into this campaign as often as possible, and some of the spare body wrappings, I make kind of like a holster at my waist, so I can have it tucked in beneath my coat when we're actually going out and using them.
I imagine Jupiter's already got a belt with a holster.
Yeah, just
right?
stick it under my belt, like a normal human being.
Slides in.
I've got Weaver's tools and I must use them.
I think in Ganassi culture, it's pretty custom to wear a leather belt at all times. There's tools most of the time. There's repairs. There's something going on. Whereas I don't imagine Drow would even really wear belts. They wear just skin type equipment. Because all Drow have to look sexy.
Yeah.
After giving you everything, Marceline just sort of throws the box to the side. And she takes a look at you guys for a minute. She picks up the note again and reads it, and just kind of tucks it into her breast pocket in this sort of leather. What are they called? Like when they're like a jacket, but like not all the way, like a Han Solo jacket.
Cropped jacket.
Cropped jacket. Okay, well, into a cropped jacket. And she goes, right. Do you guys need anything, or can I go to bed?
Yeah, I think some more sleep all round sounds like a good option.
Big fan of that.
Okay. And you see her. She stands on the coffee table, and she makes quite an impressive leap just onto the bed, flumps onto it, and within seconds is just clearly asleep. And there's just a gentle snore. It's quite easy to get to sleep in Marceline's. It's like a comfortable temperature. Really, you're incredibly comfortable on the sofa. And even with the sound of Marceline just gently snoring, it's not too bad. As you guys sleep, Jupiter, it's probably quite quiet for you. You would wake up knowing that you had a dream, but you almost certainly wouldn't remember it. It's one of those times where there's a couple of images of like, you remember someone being there and a weird thing that might have been said, but you're not really sure.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. Nothing hugely of note. Lyf, you have the same dream you've been having for however many months now. Up to the same point.
The big dream.
Up to the same point, yeah. No difference.
Okay.
Happens every night,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I was hoping it would change after session 1.
No change yet.
Okay.
Might be a change later, though.
I think when we wake up, then Lyf is going to spend the first, 30 minutes looking a bit down.
Aw, poor Lyf.
Because I think they hoped that monster was something.
That monster probably is something, just isn't necessarily something they need.
Just not something enough.
You guys would wake up to the smell of bacon. Like nice sizzling bacon. Marceline's... As you guys open your eyes, Marceline's awake. Like, all of the blinds and curtain stuff is still drawn. And there's just a couple of dancing lights floating around.
Cool.
As in the spell, not like jiving lights. They're quite dim. She's clearly, obviously, not trying to wake you guys, especially. And she's cooking breakfast. She's in, like, one of those short dressing gowns. Well, the really short but really, really fluffy dressing gowns. And as you guys rustle awake, she turns over and it's like, breakfast! She does a really nice breakfast. She'll probably give it to you guys while you're sat on the sofa, and she would sit cross-legged on the floor.
Okay.
And she's like, towards you, and it's like, right, so what's the plan for today?
You don't have a map of the place, do you?
No, yet. Because I'm bad
Okay.
at this.
Well,
Ask any questions.
no. I think I'll turn to Jupiter. If you can get me a guard alone, I can get in there. The only thing is, if there's more than one guard, I'm probably dead.
Okay. Are you going to do the thing? Are you going to do the thing where you steal people's faces? Don't do that, please.
No, it's a quick way in. I'll just be in and out.
That's weird. It's creepy.
No, it's creepy, but it'll work. If you get me a guard alone,
What are you going to do to
all
him?
we need to do, we stun gun. We take him out for half an hour. I take his uniform, take his face, take his voice. He won't miss him. I walk in as if I just dealt with you, and
Okay.
I was going back into work.
I've got a
I
plan.
walk over to the switch, hit the switch.
I've got a plan. I'm going to make a weird noise. One of the guys is going to come out to check out the weird noise.
What happens if more than one comes out?
I have a contingency plan for that, don't worry.
Okay.
Let's assume for now that one of them's coming out.
Yeah.
We put him to sleep nicely, no killing. No killing, that's a big rule.
We don't even necessarily need to put him to sleep. I have many skills.
Okay, you do something weird and invade his mind. And you steal his face. And then...
Don't make it sound so nasty.
Don't make it so nasty.
It's a necessary precaution to protect his safety and the safety of everyone else here.
Sure.
Marceline looks at you two and is like, what do you mean, steal his face?
You'll find out.
Oh, I'm really good at painting masks. And I bought these little set of paints with me. They're the little acrylic ones in a line. I don't have any paints. Don't worry about it though. Well, you just get to the ship.
That's the easy part.
Right.
If you can get to the ship, we can let go of the locks, and then you need to pick us up somewhere.
Well, the issue with that is I can't just fly over. You guys are gonna have to get to the ship.
No problem, we got this.
It's she ain't huge, but she can't just slide in above some buildings. And I don't
No,
have much
we'll get to the ship. I've got.
Yeah, here's a question.
I've got
Do you particularly mind if they see us leaving and know that you've left?
Kinda.
You can already be in the ship. They won't know it's you.
Yeah, but they do know which ship is mine.
Yeah, but they don't know.
We
it's
can just
you
shout
flying.
something about stealing your ship, and then we'll get in it and go. And
Yeah. Well, no. We will shout really loudly out the window, haha, take that, Marceline, and then we'll fly off.
She opens her
Trust
mouth a
us.
couple of times, shuts it, and is like, oh, okay.
Where's the flaw? Where is the flaw in the plan?
Yeah, there's no flaws.
They don't stand a
Only thing
chance.
is, I do need to pick up some armor before we start this.
Okay.
Question number 2. Do you know what uniform the guards wear?
It's random, to be honest. It's more the fact that the guards know who the other guards are. And, you know, we
Oh,
all
well,
know.
You can just take his clothes, it'll
that's
be
not a
fine.
problem. I'll take his clothes. I'm just wondering whether I can
Why
wear
are
them
you
over
taking a
armor.
man's clothes? They'll know if... I mean, you're a drow.
No, it's fine.
Kind of obvious.
Trust in the
I'm
process,
really good at
Marceline.
making masks.
Trust in the process.
You have
As
purple
long-
skin.
Trust in
You
the process.
Get to the ship. Your job is get to the ship. Our job is let go of the locks. Then we'll all meet back on the ship, and it'll all be good.
Look, Marceline, you know me. I never bet on the losing side. Ever. Trust me.
I've lost a couple
We've got
of times.
this. Ever.
Okay.
Lyf just kind of looks at the two of them and is just like, ever.
Shut up.
Okay, well, look, I can
We'll leave you
get-
behind.
I can get
I
on the
was
ship.
being supportive.
I'm pretty sure she's refueled. We're not gonna have time to refuel her on, you know, in the middle of all the chaos. So we might have to take a couple of detours en route. I'll leave her on silent while you guys detach the locks, and we'll drop. We'll just drop under the city, and we'll fly off that way. Sound good? Now, look, do you guys
Yeah.
know what you're doing? Can you guys operate, you know, that sort of technology?
It's called
switches.
learning on the fly.
Is it not just a button?
Yeah, but you kind of gotta know what button.
Just press them all.
I'm just gonna... I'll press the biggest one, and if it doesn't work, I'll press the next biggest
If you
one.
just break the machine, I'm sure it will default to off.
She looks slightly more afraid now that this
That's
is your guys' plan.
You're like 2 words away from a mechanisms quote there, and I'm very proud of you.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay, so remember what I said. Maglocks, if you can't figure that out, you could always switch off the power, but that may trip an alarm.
How is the alarm going to
Oh,
go
well-
if there's no power?
Magic.
We'll be
You have
we'll
to
be out
fear
before the
all
alarm
of your
goes.
life.
Yeah, I've never
We'll
stolen
be
a
out
ship
for the-
before.
Fine.
Can you look after my armor?
Most people who live here don't steal ships, Marceline. This doesn't happen.
Yeah, I can probably keep it. Do you
Get
want
it
me
on
to,
the
like,
ship.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's on the ship, it's fine. I'll go pick it up in a minute, and then I'll give it to you. You get it on the ship. Because I'm going to want to put it on once we're on the ship. But not before then.
I mean, the armor makes sense off the ship. The ship's quite safe. Well,
Yes.
we'll talk
I'd
about
like to put it on as soon as possible, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
but-
Okay.
It's going to be fine. We've got this.
Do you want me to go pick it up, or do you want to pick it up and give it to me? You know.
If you know where it is, you can pick it up. It's the cool looking black one with like the spiderweb designs.
I mean, I would guess that it was black and spidery.
It's that one.
She turns to you, Jupiter. Is like, is that racist?
I think so. I think that's racial profiling.
The drow.
Not all drow love spiders.
We're not going to tell anyone.
Okay, I'll go pick up the armor. You guys, you know, we'll all make it to the we'll make it to the dock, and then you guys have fun with your plan, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great plan.
Are you guys leaving then?
Yes.
Yeah.
It takes, you know, Marceline gets dressed and comes out with you guys. What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to go straight to the docks, or do you guys want to do anything else beforehand?
There's something I want to do, but I want to do it after Marceline's gone.
Jupiter, is there anything you would like to do?
Is there anything I would like to do? I can't think of anything specifically. No.
So, I'm gonna make a point here as DM. You may not be going back to River City for a little while, depending on what you guys want to do. You guys will essentially be leaving with the clothes on your back and whatever's in your inventory. So is there anything you guys actually want to take with you? Like, Jupiter, do you want to see if there's anything else in the family home? Like any like leftover clothes or something? Or do you want to get some new stuff? Do you guys want to get, I don't know, like rations or something? Obviously, Marceline's going to have some stuff.
Didn't you say that my room burnt down?
Yeah, but there might be other clothes in the house.
That's fair. I don't think there's much more that I'm going to grab besides what I've got.
Yeah.
One thing I did think, and I was actually going to steal from Marceline's house, but that seems mean now because I already looked through her drawers, so I'm going to see if I can get it anywhere, is I just want some scraps of fabric. Like, literally offcuts would do me, but like a large amount of scrap fabrics in like any colours.
Is this just so that you can use your weaving tools?
It's just, I think it will come in handy.
It's so that you can use your weaving tools.
Yeah, but if you need like clothes or a backpack or a holster or a bag, I can have it made. I just have a ton of scraps of fabric.
It's a fair point. Okay,
so
Jupiter, do you want to do anything?
No.
Alright, so Lyf, do you want to go buy this stuff, or would you like to see? I mean, you could ask Marceline if she's got any excess stuff, or you could just take her clothes.
I don't want to just take her clothes. Ideally, what I'd like to do is go to like a clothing manufacturer's or even like a fabric plant and see if they've got any they're throwing away anyway. Like any that's on the way out and they're just giving away.
The thing with Rivet City, and it's like most of Lim's Belt, is no one really throws things away. Anything that can be recycled is recycled.
Well, I'm just trying to recycle it for them.
Yeah. Shopping around, you can find like stores that will either sell clothes and offcuts or big sheets of fabric. You could get like maybe 10 different coloured sheets of fabric for about 10 election pieces. So like whatever colours. Big sheets.
That's worth it.
Like sort of like maybe 3 foot by 3 foot, so a substantial amount of stuff.
Yeah. I think that'll be useful. I want to get that and just kind of roll them all up and like put them in a bag just for, again, for Marceline to get onto the ship. And then I do think it is worth buying some rations. Or I'll take is that 10 electrum for 10 sheets?
Yeah.
I'll do that now because I definitely do want to get that. And I do think it is worth getting some rations just in case something goes wrong.
Alright, it would be an electrum piece per ration. Like per set of rations.
Okay.
You should be able to drag it from the item area. Not from the item, sorry, from the
cool.
menu.
Item.
Buy as many as you want. Jupiter, you can do that as well if you want.
Oh, I can do it on equipment shop.
Yeah, I should probably get some rations.
Oh, I actually can't do it on equipment shop because it'll do it in gold pieces.
I have equipment shop.
Yeah, but it does everything default prices, so it doesn't really work.
Well, I can actually fix that because I have a module. I just didn't realize I had equipment shop enabled. Where is equipment shop in this?
The 3 dots at the top of a character sheet.
Oh. Yeah, I will sort that out. I will see if I can sort that out.
I'm getting 5 rations.
Yeah, how much of the rations did you say?
It'll be an election piece each.
I do not have much money. Just to let everyone know. But no, not to let Jupiter know. I'm rich. I'm a noble.
So, do you guys want to give anything to Marceline for her to get onto the ship?
Yeah, she needs to take the cloth and my armor.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a couple portions of rations. I'll buy 10.
Do you guys want to give all of this to Marceline?
Yeah, I'm not
pretty
gonna have
much.
it on me.
Oh no, I want to have like 1 ration in my pocket, but like most of my stuff that I'm not actively carrying on me. Stuff I definitely do have on me. Obviously, my blade, my dagger, and my crossbow. But it's like one of the small crossbows tucked down the back of my leg.
Jupiter, your gun, your big bada boom gun.
Yeah.
Do you want to give that to Marceline?
Yes.
Or would you prefer to keep it on you just in case?
I think I'll have it on me, given I'm going into a dangerous situation.
Okay. Do you guys want to head straight to the docks then?
Yeah.
If you guys drag
I
the
don't
rock
actually
brush,
have that gun in
very
my
smart.
inventory, I don't think.
Yeah,
Under
I've not
weapons.
quite added it yet
Yeah.
because I'm still working on getting the tags working for it.
That's fair enough.
But if you need to use it, I have all the stats written down.
Yeah.
It's on paper, just not to Foundry.
Like,
Do you guys want to do anything else, or do you guys want to head straight to the docks?
there is one thing I want to do once Marceline's gone the other direction.
Are you saying you're going to help back then? As she goes off?
I'm just going to add crossbow bots to my inventory, and then I'm going to be listening to you properly.
That's a good plan.
I am now listening to you properly. Right, I've got crossbow bots in my inventory.
So do you just send her off with everything?
Yes.
Alright.
To, like, carefully get into the ship.
Okay.
Okay, once she's gone, and we're walking down the street, I turn to Jupiter, and without saying anything, I point at someone walking down the street towards us. It's just a random person. I don't care who. Just a randand person. Who are they? Like, racially, what do they look like?
Probably a water ganassi. Probably like some kind of inventor.
And I pull my hood up, and I do my best to replicate their face.
No.
I need to practice. I really need to practice because I've never done this under pressure before. So I just try and replicate their face while like try to hide it from them walking the other direction. And then once they're past, I take the hood down and show Jupiter.
It's pretty close.
Okay.
Like, if you didn't know this person like super well, which obviously you don't, like you easily could pass it. You might maybe be missing the style that they've like done their eyebrows this morning, maybe, or like the way they've combed their hair. But other than that, pretty much bang on.
Okay.
Quite
And then
unnerving, Jupiter. The drow
whenever
went
it's
from a
quiet,
drow to a water ganassi.
What was that?
It's unnerving how the drow went from a drow to a water ganassi.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't feel right in like every part of your body.
and as soon as it's quiet again, I'll switch back to Lyf's face.
You're probably gonna be able to do this. Probably. Are you guys going straight to the dock then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Let me pull up a couple of sheets. And then let me swap you over, because hopefully, if this doesn't work, please let me know, because this was a mess to set up. But hopefully, if I activate this, you guys can see.
Ooh. Just loading. Load.
One issue with very pretty Foundry stuff is it takes forever to load.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other problem with using big maps, is that they take
This
forever
map
to
isn't
think.
big, it's just many maps stacked on top of each other.
So it's big.
I guess. Is it loading for you guys?
Yep, it's just loaded for
There
me
it
now.
is, finally.
Oh my god. Oh, that was a worrying amount of loading time.
Yeah, it really was. Ooh.
Right, how's it looking for you
There's
guys?
a person in the corridor.
You're actually on the main street.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm watching the stream and I can actually see the map that I've designed. It's awesome. Okay. You are standing in front of a 2-story building. You know this, Jupiter, you definitely know this is the dock entrance. Lyf, you've probably come through here before. Like, you've probably already gone for the other side, obviously, to get to Rivet City.
Yeah.
So this is, it's 2 separate 2-story buildings that are joined at the first floor with a kind of bridge.
Okay.
It's got a decent amount of windows around it. And there's 2 main blocks that you both know of. There's the one that you're closest to at the moment, which is pretty much where everyone goes through. So it's checking papers, checking that people are meant to be here, making sure like everyone pays their holding fee for their ships and stuff. The other one is administration building, so it's more for the people who work there. So it's actually off limits.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to guess, that's probably where the mag stuff is, where the mag lock unlocks are.
Is that the one that's further away from us?
Yes. The other notable feature is obviously there's the guard outside. You'll know there'll be a couple of guards and other just people milling around who most likely running the place. It's actually deserted of people right now. There's no passengers, no pilots, because obviously the entire city's on lockdown. There doesn't need to be anyone. But there's still a couple of guards here, not as many as there normally would be. Other thing to note is that there are a couple of pipes. Almost imagine the way gutters run, but they are actual Athenian pipes running along. You can probably only see the opposite side of the bridge. You can see that there's a bit hanging down from there, so from the first floor, and it's kind of going down. So bottom right corner of the building you're next to. Say bottom right, I can see it, but that's probably where it's feeding down into the dock.
Right.
What do you guys want to do? You should be able to explore freely.
So there's a single guard outside, right?
Yes, and that's outside the administration building.
Okay. I turn to Jupiter. Hey, there's already a single guard. We should start a fight. You should push me. Let's get him over here.
Surely there's something else we can do.
I'm just saying, we need to get him over here quickly, and then we can... I mean, I thought the big issue would be getting one alone, but he's already alone out here.
I've got a plan. Okay, I'm going to look into the building next to us directly. Is there anyone in there? Or is it...
You should be able to move up to the window and actually have a look.
Ooh, there's people in there. There's guards. Okay. Ooh. What I'll do is I will... What's the range on it?
Also, you will be able to walk straight into that building.
Yeah.
You're actually totally allowed in there. That's
all right.
But I don't super want them to see Lyf as Lyf.
Range 30 feet. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, how do I want to go about this? Well, we don't want them all to come out is the problem. There's people in there who are going to come out if we start a fight.
Yeah.
We just want that guy. Okay. Let's move
I could go over and just... go over and just try talking to him.
Yeah, we could just go over and stun gun him.
As a
we don't even need...
You can always just walk around the building if you want to have a look. There are windows on most sides, and you are allowed to move around this entire area.
I need to get closer anyway. What's on the left side of the street? What's on the opposite side of the street? Is there anything in particular?
Opposite side are just mainly other private workshops. So probably some of the really big manufacturers. So because obviously they're going to want their resources as quickly as possible. Probably nowhere that you would really be allowed without proper pass.
All right.
And also, the inner of those buildings are quite busy. The outside at the moment really isn't, because obviously they're not getting deliveries since there's no access to the docks right now.
Okay. Let's just look inside here, take a little peek through the windows.
Oh, there's only a single guy.
There's a couple of people inside. Oh, there's two people inside, and they're quite spread out.
There should be a range, by the way, on the stun gun that you guys might want to keep an eye on.
I just want to check range.
Oh, I'm not concerned about the stun.
Okay. I'm concerned about other spells as well. Yeah, I'm thinking about what other spells I can use. I think there's a certain other spell that I might want to use them on the guy outside to make it easiest, because with the stun gun he gets a save, doesn't he? But
yeah,
with this, it's just how I roll.
I have
with my certain other spell.
Concept.
What's your concept? Get back over here so we can talk without the guard hearing.
Okay, I'll come around the corner to James, to Jupiter, and I'll kind of like half whisper. We could go in the door of the second building. They're going to tell us to leave, but we could just stand in the doorway. And if I stand in the doorway,
they're going to come over.
I can reach two of them to hopefully do my things. So if there's a third one in there, but he's outnumbered by people who agree with me and are willing just to come with me,
I don't think there is a third one.
Then there's two people inside and one outside.
In that room. Okay, the guy outside I can take care of if you want.
I can take care of the guy outside and one inside, and I'm hoping the dissenting voice of the guy inside will stop the other guy inside from coming outside.
You're gonna get the other guy to tell him not to go outside?
Yeah, so I can take one person away, and if anyone tries to follow me, there's a second guard in there to say, no, don't worry about that, that's fine.
Here's a quick tip. Before you get the guy outside, ask him his name. Because if the guy inside refers to him by name, or does he automatically know that? Do you need to know that for him to know that, or...?
This guard, by the way,
Yeah.
He's looking at you now.
Okay, no,
You're
screw it.
obviously
Okay,
huddled outside.
okay, just get the guys inside. I want to go outside. Don't worry. And I want to cast sleep. I want to go outside.
How big's the area for sleep?
It's a 20-foot sphere, but I can just stick it a little bit away, so it just gets him.
I
Just
can't
stick it like there.
How do you double check something?
If I stick it there, it should get just him.
Yeah. Let me get the tool up. So what? Here, yeah.
Just yeah, like around there-ish. Yeah, so
There
it
you go.
gets
Yeah.
him and no one else, basically.
Okay. So what are your hit dice for sleep?
It's 5d8 if I cast it at
Go
first
ahead,
level. Do I want to cast it at first level or second, just to be sure? I don't know how much health this guy has.
It's an average person, so I would not do it at second level.
Okay,
Like this guy has incredibly low health.
cool. I'll cast sleep on him. I'm just going to drop him.
Do you have any way of moving him?
Anyway, I'm moving him. We can just drag him.
Just to make sure. So
Yeah, but I needed to hear him talk.
It's fine.
you guys know that there is. You guys have seen the people inside, haven't you?
Yeah, that's why I'm concerned.
Are
Yeah.
you going to cast sleep, and is Lyf doing something simultaneously?
Lyf is running around the corner as he can't sleep.
Yeah.
Into this, like, just past the window.
Okay, I'll cast sleep. Don't know why there's an attack roll thing.
Sleep is a visible thing, by the way.
Is it?
Well, okay, well, the spell most likely wouldn't be that visible. Like, if you want, you can make the effect not visible. It is verbal and somatic, isn't it? And material, yeah. So,
Ooh.
depending
Yeah.
on where you're stood, let me just see where you're stood. So, stood there. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Let's move a little bit away
Stood
from the window,
where you
perhaps.
are, yeah. You might want to be slightly further because the guard
That's true.
inside can still see you.
No line
Like,
of sight.
You sure you want to cast sleep because this person will just slump down onto the floor.
Well, I said it, didn't I? I can't really revoke
for
it,
that.
can I?
Go for it then. Roll damage. I believe you roll damage for this.
5d8.
Well done, attack.
26.
Yeah, it just straight down. So
See?
he
I
looks
dealt
over
with
to
him.
you. He looks over to you. There's a moment where he goes, "What do you?" And then, bloom, down to the ground. He's just gone.
You see, you heard him speak a little bit. You got this.
There is someone who you hear a voice from inside the building going, "Jeff, mate, you're right.
Do you think?
Lyf, do you want to do anything?" Because
Wait.
I do want to mention that they can see that their mate is just.
Is the door open?
Yeah, you guys didn't check.
Ooh.
But the door's
I was
wide
going to
open.
check, but the door's...
The door is wide open, and they just watch their mate Jeff just fall on the floor.
Okay. It's going to plan. Don't worry. Where's Ness gone? Did Ness leave?
Dear.
That's worrying.
Yes, I think Ness is just going to have crashed. Do you want to take a quick break scene then?
Yeah,
We try and get our technical difficulty sorted out.
I can try that. mid combat break, if you want.
Mid combat break.
Which one's the break one? That one.
Chat, we'll be back in a sec.
We're back. I hope.
Just load him. For me. Ah, we're back.
I love that animation that we have. Thank
That
you
is good.
very much, Oshron Gaming, for the lovely compliment. We have done our best to make everything nice and pretty and nice and funky for you guys, because, you know, we want to give back to our wonderful and very, very loyal viewers and followers. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
The 4 of you that turn up every time are my favourite people. No, that was
We
a
have
positive
loads of
thing.
followers. We have loads of followers.
We have loads of followers, but the 4 that turn up every time are my favourite.
That's
Voss was
true.
my favourite. I mean, what? Anyway, when we left off before the break, Jupiter had cast the sleep spell on the guard that was in front of everyone.
Jupiter had just grabbed Lyf's head and stuffed a knife right through the middle of it, condemning them to death. Metaphorically.
Kind of, because
Bit harsh.
they did just knock someone unconscious. They did straight up knock someone unconscious. But as Jupiter wasn't in sight of any of the guards when this happened, no one knows to blame him yet. I'm gonna get you guys to roll initiative, please.
It'll be fine. I'm just going to play this off as me being a bystander.
Oh, nice. Sick.
Has my stuff
Awesome.
even
This
got
could be
attributes?
great combat.
Initiative. Nice.
We both rolled bad. Oh, no, then they rolled good.
It's fine. Well, one of them rolled good.
One of them rolled very good. So this is the guard that saw Jeff just flop on the ground.
Okay. Just letting you guys know, because of my positioning, I can't see anything that's going on.
Exactly. You hear him sort of scoot back in his chair and go, "Oi, Jeff? Jeff, mate," and starts walking out. Actually still can't see Jupiter at that. He sort of looks down at his mate and goes, hello? Sort of waves his hand over. Doesn't do anything though. I believe it's Jupiter's turn. Jupiter, can you see him? No.
I can't see him.
You probably could just about see him peeking around the corner. He is like literally the tile behind the door.
I think I know what needs to happen, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. Right.
You don't necessarily have to kill him or cast a spell on him because he doesn't know it was you.
Now I could play it off with some good persuasion rolls and some non-combat de-escalation. Or I could do the same thing I did last round, but again.
You should de-escalate.
Look, okay, I can always have sleep as a last resort if this goes wrong. By the gods, he's fainted!
Yes.
Don't worry, I'm a doctor.
Do you want to move towards his unconscious body?
I'm qualified in first aid.
Are you going to move towards his body or are you just going to just stay?
I'm moving forwards.
Okay. Is he just like, is he alright?
Don't worry, I'm qualified in first aid. I can attend to him.
Is he okay?
Let me check first. I need to remember. Hold on. I'll check his. Is it breathing first or then pulse? Breathing first. Breathing first. Is he breathing? Sounds like it.
I'm going to give you a choice. Do you want to roll medicine and see if you actually know what you're doing? Or do you want to roll persuasion?
I know that he's fine. I'm rolling persuasion to look like... Well, I'm not trying to look like I'm a qualified medic. I'm trying to look like someone who took a first aid course and thinks they're a qualified medic. So should I roll performance? Or persuasion?
Go performance.
Performance or persuasion?
With advantage. Go performance with advantage.
Performance with advantage. I'll take that.
Go on. Yeah. This guy's like, what should we do? Do we need to take him to the?
I'm doing my checks.
I can run him to the hospital.
I can't feel his pulse.
Leave
Do
it
we need to go?
Call the doctor there.
Call a medic, an actual medic. I don't...
I've got an idea.
It is the other guard's turn. And the other guy's just gonna go like, just hearing this is like, hey, hang on, I can call a proper medic on the field. Sort of yelling through the door. And she is gonna move sort of in this direction. All the tokens are the same. None of them are human, by the way. They're all Ganassi of different flavors.
Oh yeah, because that's what cards are in this world, isn't it? Basically.
Do I call a medic or should we take him? Is he gonna survive if we take him?
hold on just a second. I'm just feeling around his neck vaguely, trying to find his pulse. I just keep pressing my hands to his like airways, trying to find his pulse.
Lyf, it's your turn.
Okay, it sucks because it uses an action, but I did some good planning. You know the water ganassi we saw on the street?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'd like his face back, please.
You take his face.
So I take my arm and I unwrap some of the bandages that I used to body wraps, and I like rip them off halfway, and I then have this ball of bandages. And then with this water ganassi face and this ball of bandages in my hand, I run round the corner saying, "Was someone calling for a medic?" That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can only get to there. But I'm like running around full pace. These bandages like folded now in my hands. Water ganassi face. Stand back. I know what to do.
We're gonna end the combat then. Well, it wasn't really combat, to be honest.
Are we?
I'm gonna end initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have initiative for now? As these two guys like sort of crowd round, you can move over, and they're just like, "What? Is he gonna be okay?"
And now is the opportune moment for me to cast sleep because they're now bunched
No,
together.
no.
Oh, you can use your thing, can't you? You can use your thing.
I lean down over this person, and I put one hand on him and one hand on the ground, and then through the hand on the ground, these two like lines of red spread through the concrete along the cracks, and then up into the feet of these two guards. And I cast Charm Person at max level that I can, which is second. So they both have to do a Wisdom saving throw. Cast spell.
Okay.
We're not fighting it. They're not aggressing it. So yeah, just that's one failure.
Meets a pizza.
Oh, second one just
Meets a pizza.
succeeds.
Okay, so one of them, the first one, is charmed, and regards me as a friendly acquaintance, but won't do anything to endanger itself.
I know what needs to happen.
But I can give them little orders.
Okay.
Can I tell that one of them is charmed and one of them isn't?
I think
there's a flash of red in one of their eyes, but whether Jupiter notices it is up to you.
Do you think that's the thing I'm allowed to notice?
You could give an Arcana check. So I think
Ooh, yeah.
figuring out if someone is
That's
charmed
fun.
is quite difficult, and even though you probably would have seen Lyf casting the spell.
14.
Yeah, I think you would have seen Lyf cast a spell. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
almost instant watching this spell move, but you kind of know what to look for now.
And I'm going to stun gun the other one.
No, I know what to say. Okay, you can stun gun them, but also I've got the perfect thing to say.
But isn't he going to know that you've attempted to charm?
Once it's over.
Oh, after an hour. I've got an hour.
No, I mean the guy who you failed on, does he not know?
Ooh.
They do. They would know.
Yeah, that's my worry. That's why I want to just immediately stun gun him.
Stun him.
Stun gun. So do I actually make an attack, or does he just roll
You have to make an attack.
I have to make an attack. That's worrying. Does that hit?
Yeah.
Good. I'm just going to make a DC 16 con save.
That's pretty tough for a regular guy.
Okay, let's see if we can do it. Con, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just drop him.
Just onto the ground.
Okay. I turn to the one that I've got charmed, and I just say, like, quite loudly, "Oh no, it must be infectious. Quick, help me pick one of them up and take them around the corner. I can do better care when they're nice and laid down together."
Surely we should drag them inside.
That's better. Take
Don't
them
want to
inside,
alarm the
put them-
pedestrians.
Put them somewhere comfy and close the doors behind us.
Yes.
And I'll pick up the body closest to me.
Okay.
Oh, I
Just
think...
mark this guy is completely unconscious.
Yeah, is the dude who's stunned unconscious as well? Or is that different?
No, stun gun effectively does unconscious.
Okay.
Just for ease of like creation, so obviously stun is until a certain number of rounds.
Mhm.
This guy will be out for a
So-
while, but you're not entirely sure how long.
I think we're going to need to take them to a hospital immediately. I think you should deactivate the maglock so that we can use a ship to take them there.
You can't land a ship at a hospital though.
We
Look,
need to
no,
go
look, we just
fast.
need- First, let's take them inside. I pick up the one closest, and I encourage the one charmed by me to pick up the other one and
Okay.
take them inside.
So you guys sort of waddle on inside.
Yeah. And then, I turned to the one charmed, and I just said, just tell me about your day.
It's I mean, this is a bit of a shock, isn't it?
This is a bit of a shock, isn't it? And I'm changing my vocal cords. I'm matching his voice. That's a changeling thing.
I mean, this was a bit spooky. I had to sort out the power earlier upstairs. And then I came down here and I had some paperwork to do, and then obviously Jeff just sort of fell over.
Yeah.
And now, I mean,
I understand
Cassidy's
that.
also fallen unconscious, which is slightly terrifying.
Definitely very trying for you. Would you just sit there a second? Just look straight forwards.
Sure.
We need to check if you're okay.
And then I just think it's important that we we make sure there's enough room for them to breathe, because sometimes when you're unconscious it gets a bit. And we take the jackets off one of the unconscious guards.
Okay, he actually stands up and does it for you.
Okay. So I have the voice of the one I've charmed. I've got his face, and I've got the clothes of one of the unconscious ones.
Mm-hmm.
That is my guard ensemble.
What do you want to do now? Because you've got 2 unconscious guards, 1 charmed guard, with probably about 57 minutes left on that spell.
Hmm. We need to put them somewhere while I go in and pretend to be this main one.
Surely you can just send the charmed one in. Wait, it's just...
No, because
oh yeah, true.
they won't do anything that endangers themselves or their missions.
That's fair.
We need to hide the 2 unconscious ones.
Yeah, is there anywhere we can
I can
hide
just-
them?
I can just send the charmed one off on a walk around the block.
Yeah.
Do you literally tell them
Okay.
to go for a walk?
Not until we've got the other 2 hidden. He might be useful.
Any food or drinks in this room? Anything at all?
There's obviously a couple of probably mugs of tea or something.
Anything,
Not much food.
alcoholic perhaps?
No. It's a workplace, unfortunately.
Okay. Can I utilize minor illusion to ooh. So we're gonna empty out the mugs somewhere. Chuck them off. Chuck the tea into the streets.
Yeah.
We're gonna lay them down,
Soak 'em.
a mug each, and I'm gonna either prestidigitation or minor illusion, whichever one is more applicable, to create just a general smell of alcohol around them.
That's a really good idea.
Prestidigitation. You could do prestidigitation on the mugs, and it would make them smell.
Yeah.
You know, like there's been
minor illusion can also do a smell, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
such-
don't know. They're both cantrips. So I just want to create an aura of alcohol around them.
You spend a couple of minutes, and sort of now it
Genius.
does smell oppressively alcoholic. It's like walking into a bar late at night.
That's amazing.
I can't believe that they
Okay,
would drink
so I
on the
told-
job like that. These are the people defending our city.
It's ridiculous. I messaged the charmed one, and not message. I talk to him. I can't cast message, and I tell him just to go wait round the corner somewhere quiet.
Around the corner or walk away? 'Cause
Walk a little.
I'll still be around.
Walk 2 minutes away, and then wait somewhere quiet.
Right. He wanders off. You sort of see him wander out into the alleyway and then just disappear.
Just get him to go grab a snack.
Okay. Now,
Two edged
Jupiter. Do I have to go in alone,
You're gonna have to.
or do I
can't go in.
take you, or do I take you in, saying I've this troublemaker was making a mess outside.
That's not going to
He
help
needs
your
to-
case, I don't think.
Oh, but I'm worried about them jumping me.
If they jump you, I'll just burst in. It'll be fine.
Okay, we need a secret signal. I'll make a bird noise. Listen out
Sure.
for bird noise.
Sure.
And then I'm.
Are there birds in this place?
There are no birds.
Does Jupiter even know what a bird sounds like?
No, you would not know. You may know, like just from reading, what a bird is. You have never heard a bird, and likely you don't know what a bird looks like.
I'm going to assume that they
I'm still
sound.
gonna make-
I'm going to assume that they sound like spaceships because they fly.
That's fair enough. The most wildlife you've probably ever seen is a rust rat, which are these gross copper-haired little
Yeah.
creatures.
I guess my assumption then is that
eat meth.
it's somewhere between a spaceship and a rat. It like squeaks and makes engine noises.
Weirdly, that's not far off. I am going to attempt to push this door open then. It
Lock.
appears to be locked.
Leave
I
it
bring the charmed guy back. Why did I even send him off in
Surely
the first
the
place?
drunkards just have keys on them. Just
on. You can check the bodies.
yeah, the drunkards must have keys on them, right?
That's quicker. Jupiter, have they got any keys?
Do they have any keys?
Yeah.
Good.
There's actually
Oh, if
only
it's
one
locked.
on both of them.
If it's locked, it means there's probably not many guards inside.
Yeah, who locks themselves in somewhere? People don't lock themselves into places.
There you go. It's open.
Oh, there is one inside. Well, I've got the face of his colleague and the outfit, and I just kind of turn to him and I'm like, everything all right in here?
How loud do you say that?
Not too loud.
Because he's unconscious. Not like a magical unconscious. Like he's sat on a chest of equipment. You think? Maybe there's like wires or replacement parts. Head back against the wall, and he's just asleep.
Sleeping on the job, but actually,
You want to be careful about waking him up, though.
Or we could kill him in his sleep. No, or we could do something that means he's not likely to wake back up.
just
That still sounds dodgy. I mean, we could tie him down.
yeah, I was about to say you could just tie him up, just gag and handcuffs and.
No,
You could
I'll just do it
step past him.
quietly. Is my stealth any good? Though?
Hold on.
That's the real question.
Can I just?
Oh yeah, it is. It's
Can I come over and peek in through the door?
Yeah.
This little.
Yeah, no, I'll signal to Jupiter that it's clear.
Okay. How far is that? Okay. Because if we are within 30 feet of it, I can mage hand the controls if we know which one to press.
Ooh, that's an idea.
So we don't
It
actually have
looks
to
like
stealth
it's the
the whole
one
way.
going in.
Let's just. Do we think it's that stuff at the end?
This is the difficulty. I'm not sure either of you would immediately know what you're looking for. There's no big red.
This is why we
button
should have kept
per
the other
se.
dude. We should have kept our charmed guy.
You can both make Arcana checks if you want. This is magic technology in here. This is pretty much the core of what you guys will be seeing. So
Let's give it a
election
shot.
wires, Athenian power cables, and stuff. Things are,
20.
like, you both did really well
50.
there. Things are like relatively labelled, but
Mhm.
like, I mean, Lyf, you're smart. Like you're well read. You can work this out. But Jupiter, you have been raised on magic technology. This is like every part of what you've been around for however many years. I don't actually know how old Jupiter is. How old is Jupiter?
Probably like 17.
For 17 years,
Oh, well.
you have been raised on magic technology. Hell, your pacifier probably had a little spinny gadget with like little lights on it. Most likely, because your father probably wouldn't have been able to not tinker with it. So you know what you're looking for. You find it straight away, pretty much.
And it
It
is
is this one here.
that one.
But
Right.
there is another one here. You figure out that one's for the left-hand bay, or the left side of the bay, and one for the right side of the bay.
Which side of the bay is our ship in?
You're not
The one that we
sure,
want.
because you actually haven't checked yet.
Do them both. How
Hey,
far apart are they?
Hey, Lyf. Can you just check where the ship
Yeah.
is, real quick? Just.
I will walk to the window and have a look out.
I'm assuming you walk quite slowly, don't you?
Yeah, I'm not waking anyone up.
Are you actually able to see out onto the docks, just to double check?
Yeah.
So you can see all the nice blue of space, yeah?
Yeah, and the strange green lights.
That's amazing because that was a module that took a long time to set up, but it does look good because that's on a lower level. It's actually further down.
Cool.
On the right hand side, you see a large ship that looks pretty cool. But on the left hand side, you'll see a couple of smaller ships, and you realize you never asked Marceline what the ship looks like.
Yeah, but I have this like spiritual connection to Marceline's aesthetic.
The one connection you probably could mentally make is the one in the middle has 2 rockets on the side, two basically propulsion engines. The one on the right in the larger bay has 8. 4 on either kind of wing, they're not quite wings, but 4 on either side. Those are like large propulsions. But it is your guess to which Marceline's will be.
She's not going to get out-rocketed.
These aren't
but we sent her to
destroying rockets, these are propulsion engines. So these use helium to push things forward.
She had the claim that it's the fastest ship. And even if it's not true, you can't claim that if you're next to something with 4 times the horsepower.
We sent her to the ship. Can I see her in the cockpit of any of them?
Neither of them actually really have cockpits. They're both open-topped. Because there's actually no need for there to be a full interior. Yeah. They're both open-top the lower deck. You don't see anyone on either of the decks. In fact, any of the decks.
Any sign of life?
Lower deck. Huh?
Okay.
I hope she has actually made it safely.
Yeah, me too. Have I got anything? The only thing I can think of is just like pinging a quick bolt against the window of one, the lower floor. But that's just going to alert more guards.
You said you were looking for signs of life, right?
Yeah.
Give me one more Arcana check. Told you I'd run a campaign where Arcana was a useful skill, James.
The only other thing I'm thinking is we do the left side, and if nothing takes off, we do the right side.
Yeah.
The problem is, if you disable the maglocks, they will fall. You do know this. They will just drop.
Well, we're risking less ships by doing the right one first, then.
With this 16, you do notice the one with the many, many, many engines is very, very gently vibrating. Very, very gently. You do remember Marcy said she'd put it on silent running mode. You don't know what that means, but that ship looks like it's slightly moving, and the other 2 don't. So the one in the bigger bay.
So we want the further panel.
Yeah.
You want the one on the right.
Let's get over there then. Do I have to stealth or can I just walk?
You can walk, but you may be required to do a stealth check as you walk past.
Just seeing if there's anything I can do in the meantime, but no, I reckon we just...
I only need to get this close before I mage hand it.
Could have been 2 tiles back, by the way.
Yeah, I probably could have
actually.
2
tiles back, you won't have to make a stealth check.
That's fair, actually. Can I actually reach it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. It's literally the red switches.
Oh, so it's the closer bit.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
alright then, I'll chill here.
I want to know what Jupiter's mage hand looks like. Yeah.
I like to think that it's not so much as a hand, but just crawling out from behind the control panel. There's a little oozy-looking finger that just gently pushes the button and then just sinks back down behind.
That sounds so ominous. You watch as it leans forward, and you hear like quite a solid thunk. Lyf, if you're still by the window, you don't see that ship actually falling like you'd think you expect it would. You see it dropping slightly, and then you see it stabilizing and just gently wobbling. It's still quiet, but there's a gentle hum of engine.
Is it? So there's I'm looking out a window, yeah?
Yeah.
From the window, is it a straight run to the ship? Like, is it down this dock?
It is down the dock, it's down the ramps, and onto one of the 2 sides on the right-hand side. You can get onto it. Problem is, there is no door in this room.
Oh, no, that is not a problem. Is the window made of glass?
Reinforced glass.
Yeah, that's still not a problem. I touch the window, Hand on it, and I summon my blade
Are you
into that hand,
Into the window.
lightsaber check?
into the window. I am hand touching window, summon blade sideways in my hand, so the blade is in the window, and I'm just going to pull.
Are you sure that you want to do this?
Worst case scenario, I just de-summon my blade.
Worst case scenario, a bunch of alarms go off and we are screwed.
No, because there's a ship right there. I can get there in 2 turns.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and then you just follow me out. 3 turns
There's
maximum.
a guy behind me.
I'm not sure, but I think it's the best way out.
Go for
Is that
it.
what you can do? Is it what you can do?
No, I'm going to do the window closer to Jupiter.
Okay.
Here we go. Because otherwise we're just going to have to go back.
It's also the
past other guy.
window closest to the ship, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think. I can't actually see the ship.
You need to do 2 things.
I still have the face of the water Ganassi, by the way. Oh no, I still have the face of the guy. I still have the face of the guy.
In the garden. 2 things for me. 1, stealth check. Because you can theoretically break this window without waking up the Ganassi.
Stealth is alright.
Okay.
Ish.
2, strength check.
To pull it out the window.
That's all right.
Charisma, but this is actually stuck in the window.
Yeah? Yeah?
This is what you want to do, yeah?
Yeah.
You summon it down. It basically, as it forms through the glass. You see it's in the glass. It's almost like the blade's formed around the window itself somehow. Its handle is jutting out. You grab it, you pull. You pull pretty much the frame clean off. And you see a couple of wires stuck to it that snap as you pull the window. An alarm starts going off. Not in the building, but on the dock side.
Oh fuck.
And the maglocks re-engage.
Oh fuck.
You know when I
Whose idea was
said...
this? Press the button again. That's not gonna work.
Mage hand,
Cut
press the button
power,
again.
right?
Doesn't work. There's
Right.
Where's the
disconnect.
power button?
Okay. You said that the
Why would...
Athenium the Athenium pipes went to the bottom right-hand corner of the building, was it, or bottom left? Which corner of the building was it you said?
Bottom right of the left-hand building, so the building you started off by.
All right. Okay. Get out the window. Go out the window. Get out the window.
You gonna climb through?
Yeah.
Out the window.
Look,
Quick.
I'm getting out. I'm getting out. I can't
Leap.
move through because obviously there's
It's
a
a
window on
window.
the map. I can't.
We're gonna have
move
to go all the way
through
around.
Do that.
Thank you. Or you could
can
delete the
outside
window.
there.
Yeah, I'm going through the window.
I could, but I'm.
We're not in. Are we in
really bad at
initiative or not?
Not yet.
Okay. Then I'm going to move
I just
towards here, and I want to
Get
cast
it.
chromatic
Pipes,
orb.
by the way, will be here.
No,
You gonna
seriously.
cast what?
I want to cast probably chromatic orb on the
Yeah,
on
get
the
it,
pipe.
get it.
On the pipe.
Yeah, I want to destroy the pipe
You destroy the pipe. Okay.
because the pipe has got Athenium in it, and that powers stuff, and therefore destroying pipe cuts
If
power.
you miss,
Maybe.
I'll
Or
pop
not.
through it.
You would know that it
Oh, it's
could
gonna
also
explode!
be a signal carrier. You also know it could be a signal carrier. It might be that
Still-
all it's going to do is disengage a power generator somewhere else. You've not actually seen where power is being made or where power switches.
Also, if I hit this, it's going to
It's worth a
explode
shot.
and probably kill everybody inside the building.
Oh no.
Athenium.
No.
It's gonna be a bit of a-
No,
bit of a-
Athenium is incredibly volatile.
I mean, obviously the viewers at home don't know our home game, but just
Oh dear.
bit of a cake moment.
That's my feeling.
I don't care that it might be a signal carrier. I don't care that it's a signal carrier because that was my idea. So, is that the spell I
Just
want to
gonna
cast?
blast
Or
it?
can I cast? I can cast Acid Splash as a cantrip. That'd be fun.
I
Range
could.
60 feet.
the
That's
best
nice.
Best thing I can do is just crossbow straight
And
through it.
and it's instead of an attack roll, it's a dex save for Acid Splash, which means
Ooh.
that
Pipe. It is a thick pipe. A crossbow bolt wouldn't cut it.
would an Acid Splash
Okay.
cut it? Would Acid? Okay, I'll chuck acid splash then, because it's dex save
Either-
rather than an attack roll.
Either it'll go through the pipe, or it'll only eat away at the electrum around it, and give you access to the inner Athenian wiring. Do you want to try and just destroy it? Or would you actually like to try and get to the wiring? Because you likely could try and cut it, for example. So it didn't actually have as volatile a reaction.
Yeah, I want to destroy it in a way that's not gonna...
So you kind of want to
Throw
go
it
for
up.
the actual the electrum casing around it, pretty much.
Yeah, also, can I tell where the alarm's coming from? The noise.
There are 2 different alarms. There's one on the dock, and now you're outside. You can hear one in the like the sort of passenger atrium, so the building on the left-hand side. You can also hear a bit of commotion in there.
I cannot believe this. We could have simply walked out the front door because there were no guards, but you just had to go through the window, didn't you?
I'm still a guard. I can arrest you. I can have found the culprit who set off the alarm.
This is not a good plan.
Yeah, it's a great plan.
James, do you want to acid splash the pipe first?
I want to acid
And then-
splash the
There's no
pipe
guards around,
first, and then I could just duck back inside the window before the guards come out.
No, that's even better. You acid splash the pipe. Then we've already got the thing that set off the alarm was you acid splashing the pipe. Oh no, I ran out. I caught this guy. Don't worry, I'll deal with it.
Or I could not get arrested, and we could escape.
That's also a good plan, but mine's a backup plan.
It's a deck save, right?
Go.
It's a
For
dex
acid
save,
splash.
and it's a stationary pipe, so I think we should be
Fails.
alright.
100% fails.
Fails?
Yeah,
Oh,
if-
you mean the save fails rather than the spell fail? I thought you meant the
The-
spell
the-
failed. I was going to call it a
And
scam.
magic field that you guys didn't pick up on. How much damage did it do then?
Hmm.
It would, by the way, it would be here, probably, that where it's going down, and it's going around the back. of the
3,
building.
apparently.
3 damage. That would eat away at part of it, but you actually can't get at the inner wiring yet. You do see, however, now that obviously you're inspecting the pipe goes up along the first floor, so the top floor, and does go into the building, basically directly above you guys.
Oh. If this explodes, it might kill us.
It also suggests that there may be a switch in the building above you guys.
We've learned that Lyf's mechanical weakness is that I actually don't have any abilities that can target objects. I was just looking through my entire character sheet, and I'm glad I've got Jupiter on the party.
Just make a sword
All
attack.
of my abilities. I know, but anyway, right, we need to get up. Can we just climb?
You could
I want to
climb
climb up, yeah.
It's only 10 feet.
Oh, but then we'd have to break another window. And then breaking the first one was traumatic enough.
They might not necessarily be locked.
Yeah.
Giving you guys fuel.
Well, I guess it was-
fuel for ideas here. Moreover,
It's a second
as a
floor window.
point, you could try and destroy the mag locks.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well, but I would have thought they'd be quite secure.
They will be sturdy, but you could still give it a shot if you wanted to.
Yes, I want to go to the maglock. I want to go to the first maglock. I've got an idea.
All right, so you're gonna have to walk down yourself. You should be able to walk down the ramp, and it should change what you can see.
Okay.
So you should
Is it these
be able
things?
to-
follow.
The...
Yeah, you can.
Is it these things?
That's fine.
Yes, those are the 2 mag locks.
Right. I've still got my blade out from wrecking the window. And this is where we all remember that our DM allows first level feats.
Oh, I forgot to take one of those.
And I took Great Weapon Master. Meaning, I can take -5 on an attack to deal an extra 10 damage. On top of my sword's 2d6. And if it's not moving, it can't be that hard to hit.
Still is tough to get through though.
Yeah, I know.
To
But,
get you gotta try and not get a glancing blow.
yeah.
It'll be fine. You can just
But I
keep
got
trying.
I got a couple of goes there. So I'm holding sword, one hand on there, one hand on top of the hill, like straight over, and I'm just gonna push it down and try and like slice it in half.
All right, roll to hit. Normal roll to hit. Are you taking -5?
I'm taking the -5.
In the situational bonus, just put -5, and it'll do the calculation automatically.
Attack. Situational bonus -5. I just need to check it's got it all right because I can't remember if my sword always gets things right. It's a 4, a 2, and a 1. Yeah, that's right. No, I don't. Is yeah. 20.
Oh my god. Yeah,
20.
that definitely goes
20.
through.
You had -5 and you got 20 at 3rd level.
Roll the damage.
I'm using 2 hands plus 10. 21 damage, please, to the maglock.
It would pretty much snap off.
I didn't even roll that well.
Start falling down. And you watch the ship begin to list. Because now instead of being held 2 equal points, it's only being held by the one on the right. And it starts just tilting downwards and to the side. And you can actually see it's starting to scrape off the top maglock. Off the other one. Almost as its weight
Yeah.
is pulling it off.
The
At
torsion
same
must rip off the
time-
other maglock.
So yeah,
The torsion must rip off the other maglock, surely.
not quite. Because it's
Or
it's
Jupiter
going
needs to
into
get the other
rock,
one.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Same time,
Yeah.
you hear 2 guards going, "Oi! What are you doing?"
Jupiter, get the other one. I'm getting on.
You jump on the
And I'm gonna-
mostly sideways ship.
I'm going to throw myself onto the ship. Jupiter, get the other one.
What spell do I want to cast?
I'm gonna need acrobatics from the lift, by the way. Well, Jupiter decides
Oh, okay.
what he does.
Ooh,
Oh, my acrobatics isn't great.
I want to.
16. That'll.
Quick, hold on.
You slam down into this pipe. You're pretty much still on the pipe, so as it goes down, you go down with it, and you almost pogo with the sword.
Well, yeah. Can I swing my blade and catch it on the ship and like pull myself up? Because
You
that'd be
ca-
sick.
You catch almost the curved end of it on the ship.
Yeah.
Pull yourself up and grab onto one of the side railings. Jupiter, what are you deciding to cast?
I will use a 2nd level slot to make sure I get this for acid arrow. Because
Go for it.
that still does damage on miss, even though it's going to be unlikely that I'm going to miss. But
I don't know
cast
how much
that.
damage it takes to break these things.
Okay, so do I need to roll to hit?
Yeah. You got to beat an AC to make sure it goes through. Yeah.
18.
That goes through.
And
Rough damage?
damage.
Acid's got to be good against it, though.
That's a lot of damage.
It's quite a bit.
Oh my god.
44 makes 11,
But also-
and then at the end of its turn, whenever that is an extra
Yeah.
5 damage.
It'll keep eating through the metal, so even if it's not done, yeah.
It's not 18 straight away. If you click on the recipe on the formula,
Yeah,
it has the
You mean
11
16?
immediate damage.
Yeah,
and
I
then
know.
5 damage in 6
yeah,
seconds.
I know. Yeah.
Right.
So you watch it eat most of the way through. As you watch these 2 guards starting to run down, trying to come see what's going on.
I'm on
and
the
then
ship.
yelling, "Oi, what are you doing to the locks?"
Now, which of these 2 spells do I want to cast is the real question.
Have you got another 2nd level spell slot? Oh, it's
Yes.
level 1, isn't it?
I got 2. I have 2 2nd level spell slots as well, though. How far down is the ship?
It's not that it's down because the 2nd maglock isn't broken. It's still like this. It's still the same distance because it got locked back up. But it is pretty much now sideways. Lyf is not standing on the ship. Lyf is holding on to the guardrail on the edge of the ship and trying not to fall off.
Okay. That's fun.
So actually, before you take your next action, Lyf, I need probably an athletics check to actually stay holding on to this ship.
By the way,
Mhm.
just a spell that can target one creature can target myself. Just to check.
Yes.
Good.
Oopsie.
Lyf, you let go of the guardrail. You are not a strong person.
Uh-oh.
No. I'm quite strong. I got +2 to strength. Just I had a lapse of concentration while I
This
was
is-
cheering on Jupiter.
This has made things a lot harder.
You don't fall off because it's sideways. You slide down and you just about catch yourself on the 2nd guardrail, but you will have to make another check in a second, or find another way of holding on, before you pretty much slide off the 2nd handrail over the side and fall almost infinitely.
Can I tie myself on?
Have you got a not proficiency?
No.
And you can give it
I
a
do
try
not.
in a second, but it's gonna be a high DC.
However, I do have weaver's tools.
Shut up about your weaver's tools.
Have you got rope on you?
I've got something on me. No. I technically don't.
Let's see if there's anything you could attach yourself to. Well, we'll have to find out in a sec. Jupiter, what are you gonna do?
I love the
You've
number
got
of spells
action.
that you've given me because this is fun.
You've got one action
Yes.
before the lock's eaten through and the ship starts to drop.
And my
at
action,
quite a speedy rate.
my action is to cast on myself the spell Spider Climb.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a
Yes.
tough choice between Spider Climb and Invisibility, but I've opted for Spider Climb.
You cast spider climb.
Get on
and
this
what do you
ship.
do?
And I just jump onto the ship. If the stuff's going to eat through the lock anyway, I just get onto the ship.
What does your spider climb look like? How does it? Does your body change in any way?
I feel like, does it? I feel like just my hands and feet just get really sticky.
There's like a
Like,
Yeah.
thin
I like the idea. It's just
ooze
it's
on
just
the normal
ooze though. It's not
skin.
spider stuff. It's like gunk.
I imagine you pretty much you cast this as a quick shimmer of like green ooze down your body into your feet. You look at the two guards who are literally running towards you. You take a little hop off the side. You land. Literally, you land upright on the deck. So you are pretty much at a right angle to the guards, but your feet are perfectly landed to the side of the deck.
Can I give him a little salute? You know, just
Yeah.
The ship drops like a stone.
I hope
Lyf,
someone's in there to drive it.
you're gonna have to make another athletics check because no. What else are you gonna do?
No. My blade is still summoned, yeah?
Yes.
This is probably so dumb. But I want to just like throw my blade upwards and just shout for Jupiter to catch me. So this blade is like at your feet, Jupiter. Because it's a big sword.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any way to catch me, but I want you to.
you want me to grab the blade with my
There are
hands.
holes at the top of the blade, aren't there?
Yeah.
You could theoretically grab, put like 2 fingers through the top and pull. Again, it's going to be a difficult check. It'll be an athletics check. But if you have no other way of doing it, that's probably the best chance that Lyf has.
Let's give it a shot.
What an athletics check for me.
Athletics check.
As you try and pull them up.
Oh boy, I've just gone from playing a paladin with proficiency to playing a sorcerer without.
13.
I'm going to give you an
If-
option.
You're going to give us a hard choice,
If it,
aren't
make,
you?
Our choice.
if it makes any difference, Lyf can reduce their body weight because they're a changeling.
Do that. Can't you just change into something you've seen that can climb?
No, because my abilities don't change.
Oh,
It's only aesthetic.
that sucks.
Jupiter, you get a choice. Lyf, you do not even get to ask which one you would like from this. It's what Jupiter would do. The inside of this ring is almost as sharp as the outside edge. You can keep them on for long enough for the ship to turn back to its normal side, and for like everything to level up so Lyf can get on properly. You will have to take the damage that Ness normally rolls for a one-handed weapon attack, or you can let go. As the pain starts hitting in, you can just pull your hand away from the blade.
What's the situation? If they drop, will we be able to swoop under, or is it just
It depends how fast the ship is. You actually don't know. Jupiter wouldn't know.
I'm gonna hold on then.
To keep his
I'm gonna hold
fingers.
on.
Do I have to roll damage?
Ness, could you roll me a damage for the sword?
Absolutely. Regular damage.
Regular damage, one-handed damage. 'cause
If
only
you
got
do
one
enough
hand on
damage to cut my fingers off, I swear.
Oh, 9. That's nothing.
Why do you sound disappointed?
No, I'm just saying, I want my sword to be more impressive than 9 damage.
Could have rolled a 15 and it actually almost killed you.
Oh yeah, that's actually a pretty serious amount of damage at this level. I kind of forgot about that part of it. That's actually kind of significant.
I'll heal you up in a minute.
Ooh, wait, do I need to do concentration for something? It's asking me if I want to roll concentration. What am I
Spider
concentrating
climb
on?
is a concentration spell, is it not?
It is.
Oh no.
So you
Oh,
might have screwed the
no.
both of us. Your
Oh,
plan.
no.
Okay, so far your plans have set off an alarm and alerted everyone, and
You made
reactivated
that
the
decision.
maglocks, and potentially are going to get us both killed.
You made that decision.
It's a DC 10, so if you just roll a concentration saving throw, isn't it?
Yes! Oh, Jupiter's a god. Jupiter's a god amongst men.
This actually cuts into your fingers as you pull the blade up and lift with the blade. You feel your concentration starting to slip. You feel actually you slide down a couple of inches on the deck as it starts leveling out. You give it one last push. You push your feet into the ground, and you feel Marceline leveling out the ship as it drops. And suddenly there's a as all 8 top rockets engage, and you guys blast underneath the city. You're on board Marceline's ship. You see
Oh dear, that was definitely...
You see Marceline sort of pop out. It's hard to describe this ship. You've got a front almost like a normal sailing ship, but you've got the front bit, which is what you're stood on. You've got 2 quite narrow wings, which might have rooms in them. You're not sure, like on the below deck, but on top they've just got rockets. And at the back, there's kind of like a built-up little section, and then there's a lower section. And you see Marceline sort of swing out, open this door to the higher section, lean her head out and go, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, actually, what was that? What was all that about? We could have walked out through the door, we would have been in the clear, and you just had to go and do something stupid.
I thought it would be quicker. I was trying to save time.
I'm actually bloodied from the damage.
Oh no.
You marked bloodied. Oh, you are as well. Oh my god. Marcy sort of looks between you two. Looks at Jupiter. It's like, should we get that scene too and head below deck?
I was about to say, can I roll medicine to wrap something round?
I would quite like to keep my hand.
I would quite like to help.
Yeah, but then this is where you roll on that one and I get gangrene and I die.
Go for a medicine.
My blade doesn't give people gangrene. Can I roll it?
Yeah. No, if Jupiter will let you.
I don't think I will.
Gonna let me.
Would you not?
Oh.
I don't think I will.
Oh. Now I'm sad. I'll just try my best.
Marceline gets out like a... I've rolled as Jupiter because I have you selected, but
yeah.
Not you. Marceline gets out like a basic kit. Starts just bandaging up the fingers. You won't get any like health back from this, but it's stemmed the bleeding. Feels like a little bit better because they kept together. They're not reflexing much. You are now under Rivet City. Jupiter, you've seen almost every inch of Rivet City, other than the bottom. I don't think you've really ever left, have you? On a ship, or would you have?
Maybe when I was very young, but probably not recently.
Even then, you probably would have seen the bottom. It's beautiful and also a mess.
Before we get into big journey thing, I just realised something bad.
What?
I never changed back from the guard before Marceline came out the top.
That's a good point, actually.
I don't think I would have had time. I think I would have been too concerned with just getting on the ship.
What else? What happened to your big traveller's cloak as well?
That's still on.
I've changed. You have the guard coat on.
Yeah.
No,
I doubt I would have. Yeah, either I would have put it in a bag I'm carrying, or like on my person, or I would have literally just like rolled it up and pinned it so I can wear it under the other coat.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of thing I take off very often. So
I think what would happen then is, obviously you're probably still on the floor as the ship's been adjusting, and obviously she goes to patch up Jupiter, assuming that you're Lyf, and then looks at you. There's a moment of and then really, like, incredibly quickly, puts her hand into the crop leather jacket, pulls out a las pistol, points it at you.
I don't want to reveal myself. I genuinely don't know how to play this.
Smash it. Looks at Jupiter.
I don't
Jupiter?
want to.
What?
I look up. No, I look up.
Mission?
I look up at Jupiter and just shake my head.
No, I'll let you explain this one. No, go on.
Where's Lyf? Where's she gone?
I'm just dead silent. Just death staring Lyf.
I genuinely don't know what to do. I don't want her to know.
She points the gun directly at her head. She says, right. 5 seconds. You talk. This goes in your brain.
Okay, I need to make a decision.
Like,
I need to make a
you
decision.
have a feeling that she actually doesn't have a bad rep with the guards. She can't do this. You can't have a guard knowing that this has happened.
I throw the guard coat off backwards, release the coat, pull the hood up, and just kind of like hunker down for a second. I was thinking of running into the main building, but that's going to take too long and she's going to shoot me if I move. So I'm literally just pulling the hood up, hunkering down for a second, and then doing Lyf's face.
There's a moment
And then-
of hesitation. I'm just going to look back at YouTube and say, what do we do with him?
Still silent. Jupiter is mad. This mission was going pretty much perfectly, and then you just absolutely had to do something stupid.
Then I stand back up, then revealing the face, putting the hood down, touch the top of my sword, and it shrinks back into my hand. And just stand there. I don't even know what Lyf would say. This has gone so badly for them. Yeah. This has gone badly for them personally. It's gone like, well, they achieved what they wanted to achieve. But it's gone very bad personally. Hi?
There's a few seconds of silence. And she turns around, walks into the cabin, shuts the door, and you can hear her going down the steps to the lower deck.
Oh, we should probably leave her be for a moment, yeah?
How about I go talk to her and you stay up here and think about what you've done? And I don't wait for a response, and I just go in.
Jupiter, as you go to open the door, she pushes it back open, holding the black armor with the new gem inlaid pretty much in the center. Throws it at Lyf. That's like an excited puppy. So, you didn't tell me you could do that? That's like crazy magic. That's amazing. You could be like the best smuggler in the galaxy. We gotta do this. Okay, we gotta do this. Can you like just? Is that like you have to cast that or like?
Yeah, it's like a tricky thing, you know? It's like, I need the right spell books and everything, and that was my last scroll of Disguise Self, and like...
Well, where can we get you more? Like, that was amazing. Jupiter, can you do that?
Are we just going to ignore the fact that that little stunt and everything just meant that multiple guards saw us flying off, and there were alarms blaring, and we were seen? I was
Yeah,
seen?
it doesn't matter anymore, though. We've just created...
it doesn't matter. I was seen
team of all time.
smuggling a ship and destroying maglocks, and it doesn't matter. Look, you're not
We're
from around
out
here,
there
but this
now.
is where I grew up. And I'm now a fugitive.
They don't know it's you.
They saw me.
They don't... We might not be that cross.
They might not be that cross. Well, I am.
Like, we all need some food. I need to put on this armor.
It's always with the food with you.
Check that dwarf guy hasn't ruined any of that, and I'm like stroking over the spiderweb patterns on it.
It's actually perfect. Like the armor's been cut into to inlay the stone, but it's almost as though
Mm.
the leather's kind of half reformed around the edges of the stone. So it's only like the top peak that's coming out. And putting the armor on, it's harder now. At first, like pulling your head through. Obviously, normally it kind of because it's drama's quite tight. Normally it flexes over your head and then sort of snaps back around the neck, almost like a kind of a skin tight suit. Now you're pulling it and it's hard to pull over your head.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of like, you know, when you find like clothes from like 3 years ago and you can get it through, but it feels like it's gonna break the whole time. It's through. It settles on you for a minute. You move your arms. It's stiff for a second, and then you start moving around, and it feels slightly nicer to move in now.
Okay.
It's almost like this stuff is sturdier, but the stone is kind of giving it like a greater ability to defend you. Like, you feel a bit more agile in it now.
Cool. And I'll put the coat back on over top, and my AC's back up to 15.
I'm gonna end the session there. You want?
Oh no! No!
Sorry.
No.
If you got anything, you better write it down as a note.
I want to make it up to Jupiter.
You want to
I
make
feel
what?
bad. I want to make it up to Jupiter. I feel bad.
Go on then. What are you gonna say, Jupiter? You have a small conversation.
I'll think about it for next week.
Okay. I will have a map drawn up for the ship next week. The ship's gonna be quite interesting. It's a bit of a mess. It's quite small. I'm assuming we're doing our normal 10 minutes. So first of all, thanks everyone for watching the session. That is the end of today's session. That is episode 2 of The Outer Black. There won't be an episode on Tuesday. That's why we did today's Saturday stream. We may do one next Saturday. Next Saturday, depending on.
I was about to ask
who's around. Yeah, we'll tweet it out. We'll message people if they're interested.
You'll remember, unlike this time where we didn't tweet it out because we forgot.
We're good at that. We will, we will make sure that everyone who follows us knows what's going on. As always, please share us. If you enjoyed, let everyone around you know that you enjoyed it and let them know they should come watch us.
Watch Lyf make more friends and then lose them again and be really sad about it. I'm genuinely really sad for Lyf.
Watch Jupiter.
I'm genuinely really angry for Jupiter.
Jupiter's like this insane, can do everything, and then. Yeah.
See, I'm not even sure if Jupiter's considered this, but Granny Brooks ain't gonna be too pleased.
Well, I wasn't expecting to get caught.
No.
Yeah, well, this is one of these things. Like, this is where Jupiter grew up. He wasn't expecting to get caught. They could have just walked out, and no alarms, and just no guards. Easy route. And yet,
Yeah.
The most annoying thing about that heist. There's a second floor to this map, and I haven't even seen it yet.
that's sad. You can show
Well,
us.
Right. I'm gonna show
We'll
you
come
guys, it's
back.
Cool.
Or in the other? Were we supposed to go in the other building? Is that a thing?
You didn't have to, but you could have. Let me guess. Actually, if you guys go onto the stairs and
It's
everything.
just. I feel like there is no real reason as to why.
I thought you wouldn't be able to drag yourselves up because their levels are different. But if you go
Alright.
through that building on the left,
What's the door?
there's one at the bottom, one at the top.
There it is.
So it's here. If you open that door left, you should be able to go through. And go up the stairs as normal, and hopefully that map's worked properly, right?
Well, yeah. I can see a second floor.
There we are.
There were more
That's pretty
guards around
cool.
here. And
We had
pipe,
plenty of guards.
Hello.
The pipe actually ascended to the power switch up in the other building at the top. And you could have climbed the pipe.
Is this the?
That's quite cool.
What's that? Is that Athenium?
Yep. Some crates of Athenium,
Oh,
some
we-
crates of random bolts, goods,
Which
some random
okay.
you
stuff.
should have nipped.
Can I get into there?
We didn't.
It's locked.
We didn't.
Can you
clear
unlock
that
it?
stuff.
There's actually nothing in there.
Oh.
You could have found out if you'd listened to the guards that there was actually the suits of like the small mech suits. Some of the guards, there were a couple in there, but I obviously haven't got images for that, so it's kind of just empty for now because you guys couldn't have gotten in there.
Is this like a
Broke
walkway
in.
or something?
Yeah, this is the central
That's fun.
bridge I described that connected the two. Because these windows were actually originally unlocked, and you could have climbed along the pipe if you'd have climbed up it. Like
Ooh,
this
loads of
way.
crates. That's fun.
Yep, and gotten in. If you go over here, there is actually a power switch.
Ooh, I need to go around. That's nice.
There's actually a power switch that would have disabled the power. There were multiple ways of doing this. And you guys were like
Yeah.
That
doing
wasn't
the
one of
really
them.
clever, sneaky way until you broke the window. Which I wasn't expecting.
But if we'd gone the other way, we would have only ran into more guards.
No, because we
could
put
have
all the
stepped
guards to
around them.
sleep.
You could have also stealthed around them.
I mean,
But
we could
to
have
get
just.
up that power switch,
No, but like we'd already deactivated the maglock. So if we hadn't set off the alarm, we could have just walked out and back round and then just left.
That's genuinely something that could have happened.
That's what I thought was going to
there would
happen.
have there would have been less narrative interest.
There wouldn't be the conflict. There wouldn't be the PC conflict.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You
I
guys
guess
are now
so.
on board a medium-sized ship. Do you know what I've had to do? I've had to redo how token sizes work in my brain.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
city size classes are like medium, large, huge, gargantuan.
Yeah.
But then I needed them for ships, and that doesn't work for ships because you can't have a tile-wide ship because there's not much ship. So I have my medium ships are 20 by 20. Large ships are I think I set them as 50 by 50. Huge ships are 100 by 100, and gargantuan ships are 200 by 200 and bigger. Because there's also
Nice.
I also have the gargantuan, colossal, and titan. Not to give anything
Yeah.
away, but those are both size classes that I have to work with at times.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I want
you described the
one.
Ark as being the size of the Titanic.
Yep. Actually, we've been slightly bigger, by the way.
Yeah,
Actually,
but
unfortunately, slightly bigger.
so that's big.
Yeah. And you guys are in a tiny little cruiser, essentially.
But we got guns. We haven't got guns.
You've got stun guns with how many shots left in them each?
3. I didn't use mine.
Jupiter shot 1.
I've got 2.
You guys can keep those, by the way.
I was so tempted to shoot Lyf when you were in the guard form on the ship. I honestly thought that you were going to get Marceline to just stun gun Lyf. I didn't think it was going to be an actual gun. I thought it was just going to be immediately stun gun, just attack roll.
Jupiter, you would recognize that's a laser gun. That
Yeah.
does damage. A lot of damage.
Yeah, well, my
I'm
immediate
so-
assumption was
I'm so glad you pulled out the whole, whoa, you can cast a sky itself, rather than me literally having to gaslight Marceline into believing that I never appeared as a guard and she was going mad. Because I didn't want to gaslight someone on stream. Because that was my backup plan.
so. That's your boundary, is it? So in going through people's personal property and all of that, that's fine. And general manipulation.
No, I can manipulate through enchantment magic. I won't just genuinely gaslight someone.
Marceline's
Oh.
smart. There's backstory behind Marceline that you guys can learn. There was reasons why she hesitated. There are reasons how she knows more magic than most people. Because I actually don't think Jupiter would know what Disguise Self is, to be honest. Because it's not a spell that you know, is it, Jupiter?
It's not one that I know, but I have talked to underworld casters.
True, yeah. You might have a rough idea.
You'd imagine that'd be quite
Yeah,
a big
I imagine-
criminal spell.
I imagine there's drow wizards, hence my...
That's
Or at
something
least
you
it would have
would
been...
know it.
And also it's a first level spell, isn't it? So I would have probably covered it at school.
The big thing really is that obviously as Jupiter as sorcerer, he doesn't have the training of, what spell schools are, what specific spells are.
Yeah.
You probably just recognize a spell as being this thing.
Yeah.
It's like it could literally be like you don't know what mage hand is, but you can do a thing where you can manipulate objects from a distance. Or chromatic orb in your head isn't called chromatic orb.
It's that
called,
one.
Like,
Yeah.
It's called like
Lyf's-
orb of and won't to make it die now.
Lyf spells also definitely don't have names. It's just whatever appears to them in the moment. I just realised the guard I charmed is probably waking up about now.
Yeah.
Oh no. He never saw my face though. He only saw the random water ganassi we were walking down the
Poor
street.
guy! So that dude's incriminated now.
Oh dear. Lyf's
Your
done some
guys'
bad
actions
stuff.
have consequences.
Lyf's done
Yeah.
some really bad
Well,
stuff.
my actions don't. However, Liv's actions.
No, you've taken some actions that are going to have consequences. You slept a guy in the middle of the street.
That's true. I made him.
You slept with a man in the middle of the street, James.
To the point, they actually one of them saw your face.
But the other guys know that I was doing first aid, and they believed that. They believed that I was
That's
doing
true.
first aid.
Until
And
you
I was a
shot one.
doctor.
I did
Oh,
shoot
you
one.
did shoot one.
He probably forgot.
Yeah, stop piling all this responsibility onto Lyf and making them feel bad. You shot a guard.
With a stun gun, and did
I've
0 damage.
specified-
Meanwhile, you
I've
bloodied
specified
me.
This is an interconnected world.
Oh
Like-
no.
Communication's going to get around, and don't forget there are some people who are looking for certain other people.
I was going to ask as well
Well,
whether the
you know-
crime systems are separate, like in Skyrim, or whether it's one criminal system across the majority of the world.
That you actually probably wouldn't know.
Would I not have heard from various criminals I spent time around?
I think it depends on the crime is the issue. It's like if you got caught pickpocketing in one city, another city probably wouldn't care. But you just like stole a flying vehicle, which they are worth a lot of money. Like an awful lot of money.
Well, technically we didn't steal it, actually. Technically, we just illegally
Dropped it.
escaped with it. But we actually have the ship's owner with us, completely voluntarily.
You also
They
committed.
don't know that though.
You also committed like property
Assault.
damage. And assault, yeah, you just shoot a man.
Oh yeah, we've done some stuff like that, but can we talk about
We
how
haven't done murder,
absolutely
though.
can we talk about how absolutely useless the guard in the back room was? The one who just was
Yeah.
asleep, and the alarms didn't even wake him up. Mans was just
Quite sleepy. I tried
Is he
to make
dead?
this- No, he's not dead. He was genuinely asleep. I tried to make this as
Does he have
realistic as
hand-
possible. I figured because I was only going to have one guard on front of the controls. I thought one guard in front of the controls, no other guards can see him. If it was me, I would probably take a nap. So I figured he'd just take a nap.
Does he have fancy narcolepsy?
No, he's just kind of lazy.
Okay.
However, the water ganassi does have a family, the one that's now been arrested. For, like,
No, he hasn't been arrested. No,
He
because I'm
has.
going back to help him start a life of crime.
maybe he doesn't want a life of crime. Maybe he was an actual doctor, and he, you know.
Please
he ran
don't
an
tell me his
orphanage.
children's name. No, no, I don't want to hear this. I'm muting you. I'm deafening myself.
That's not how that
Oh
works.
no,
Right, should we wind up the stream?
Yes, let's do that thing.
probably.
Thank you very much,
Before I
ladies and
incriminate
gentlemen, for
myself.
joining us on episode 2. And hopefully we'll see you next time.
You done with your outro?
Bye-bye.
Good. See you.